My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
To realize the future America needs, we understand what's needed from us. To face each threat head on. We've earned our place in the fight for our nation's future. We are Marines. We were made for this.
Auto insurance can all seem the same until it comes time to use it. So don't get stuck paying more for less coverage. Switch to USAA Auto Insurance and you could start saving money in no time. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply.
Bored with your boring cardio? Stop pedaling that snooze cycle to Nowheresville and try some cardio that's actually fun. Supernatural Fitness, available on MetaQuest. Isn't that right, Jane Fonda?
Cardio will never be boring again.
Sweat to the beat of thousands of chart-topping songs inside stunning virtual landscapes.
Bet your stationary bike can't do that.
Visit GetSupernatural.com and join the next fitness revolution. Supernatural VR Fitness, only on MetaQuest. Rated T for Teen.
Hello, podcast fans. It is I, Bruce Valanche. For over 25 years, I worked on the Academy Awards, so you didn't have to. In that time, I've seen and heard things that should not be seen, or heard, or certainly felt. And now, for the first time, I'm sharing all my behind-the-scenes stories and first-hand knowledge about the Oscars. The blood, the sweat, the tears, the slap, all the things you didn't see. So join me as I use humor and insight to break down the Oscar awards of the past, to explain how and why your favorite movie didn't win, why some actors and some directors had to fire their agents, and how the whole process works, or sometimes doesn't work. This is the Oscars. What were they thinking? Available wherever you get podcasts.
This podcast contains mature content, explicit language, suggestive situations, and partial to full frontal nudity. Listener discretion is advised. Don't let your kids listen to this.
I'm going to have a different first note because Zach fucked it up.
Oh, sorry.
This is from the trailer. In Above the Law, he got tough. In Hard to Kill, he got even. Now, the man with the short fuse is marked for death.
Is the man with the short fuse a Seagal nickname?
Yes. Like at that point, he's played law enforcement people who are, again, above the law. Like they play by their own rules.
And he was hard to kill. And then he was marked for death. And then he was out for justice.
You might be able to tell a whole story.
I'm telling it.
Dude.
It could go in any order, though. And it doesn't have any evolution in the titles.
Maze, you're not understanding. Let me do this again, okay? So when he started out, he was above the law. And they figured out he's hard to kill.
Mm-hmm.
But he was still marked for death.
Okay.
And once that happened, now he was out for justice.
Shortly after he went out for justice, that was the end of it, right?
Amin, after he was out for justice, he was under siege. So he was out and now he's under. He's above, he's marked.
Mm-hmm.
It's telling a story. So once he was under siege, he found himself on deadly ground.
Oh my God. Well, how did he get out of it?
Here's the thing. He was under siege again.
No.
In dark territory. So the first time he's just under siege. This time he's under siege in dark territory.
When you're underground, it is kind of dark. There is no sunshine. So he sunk and then he got under siege again, but this time in the dark spot.
Then he had to make an executive decision. What's next?
Mm-hmm.
His decision was, I'm going to become the Glimmerman. Then he was on an episode of Roseanne.
Patience, Grasshopper.
Now you've seen how bad things can get and how quick they can get that way. Well, they can get a whole lot worse. So we're not going to fight anymore.
You think this dude's going to take Ed down?
MVP is going to blow Ed out of the water.
He's the most valuable primate.
You betray the law.
I'm sorry, misogynist. Men are hoes too.
You've said hoes 58 times in this episode, and I'm the misogynist?
You unbelievable, man.
Wait, you guys have notes about 9/11 for this movie?
How do you not?
Yap about this and yap about that and yap all night long. Fucking yap.
It was in my dream. That's not how I feel.
It is how you feel. It was in your dream.
Some of us like to be prepared.
How are you not taking accountability for your mind?
Because I know I'm lying. Like, I know for a fact I'm lying.
You sick little bitch.
It was awful. It was incredibly boring. It was long. It was stupid. It was horribly written. The acting was terrible. It was a huge piece of shit. You're a fraud. It's a phobe.
So everybody just be very respectful.
But he's dead now, right? So we can't make fun of him?
Is he dead? No, if he's dead, we can make fun of him. If he's still sick, we can't.
Hold on.
If he's dead, we can make fun of him.
Yeah.
I don't think we can.
Whenever I hear numbers, my head converts them into chess moves or seats at the garden.
I don't know what happened to you, man. You used to be cool, and then you got blarted.
You tried to peg AIDS on me in the T-Rex episode?
That's my fault for not remembering what century I was in, bitch.
It's been a good run. Thanks for playing. See you at the eulogy.
You want the punani?
I don't require Ed to have a condom because I trust him.
Anthony, you're going to be busy today, huh?
Yeah, it's nothing new, chef.
Host! I am an alcohol segregationist.
That thing's going to move up like R. Kelly.
Salute to all the old ladies around the world. I love you.
You got horses. What you need, a thoroughbred.
Sometimes my emotions are just roaring like a T-Rex.
That's a lot of pussy.
I'm not in here with you. You're in here with me.
Welcome to Cinephobe, the podcast we break down the movies you're afraid to admit you love. I'm Zach Harper. That's Amin Hassan. That's Anthony Mays. Make sure you listen to us on Spotify. I'm going to cut your fucking head off. You don't.
Spotify is where you can vote in the poll, like the poll for The Good Son. 73.7% file, 26.3% phobe.
Phobe that.
Spotify is also where you can leave a comment like David Peters 78, who said, "Was I the only one who thought Mr. Highway was an actually unhoused gentleman that Macaulay found and dressed up?"
Yes.
That would have been awesome, though.
It would have been great, but also they're not carrying an adult human.
Yeah, that would be ridiculous.
2 seconds into showing us Mr. Highway, you knew he's a straw man.
Yeah.
Daniel Croco commented, "Shout out to the return of the farmer's market bit."
It's a great one.
One of my CT5 Cinephobe references I routinely drop in conversation. And Garrett Michael said, "My wife left me and took my son. I'm just glad I have this podcast to get me through."
I want that to be true so badly. I don't want this to be our listeners being cute.
I actually do too.
I want your family life to have been destroyed, but you find salvation in the warm bosom of Cinephobe.
It reminds me of the guy who was going through divorce and put on Cinephobe.
And it hastened the divorce?
Sometimes tragedies strike.
Leave us a review. Leave us a comment. Make sure you check out CT5 episodes on the main feed. Leave us your CT5 suggestions and lists on social media or in the Discord by subscribing to patreon.com/countthedings, in which you get access to ad-free episodes, extended cold opens, rewatching and live events past, present, and future, early episodes, access and discount on live show tickets, our Discord, and all of our extra content across the entire CTD network. If you have a submission, submit it. Reminder, it needs to be 40% or lower on the Rotten Tomatoes audience or critic score. Okay, here it is. Welcome to episode 250.
Oh, yeah.
250 years of Cinephobe, in which we are beginning a brand new daisy chain. Everything from last year.
It's done.
It's over. We're starting a new one. We're starting a new format.
That's right.
I don't want to hear any bitching about it.
And I don't want any questions about the tables.
We like the format. We're testing it out here, but we're committing to it moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hear any complaints about, oh, the old Cinephobe episodes were great because they did this. I don't give a fuck.
Go listen to them.
Go listen to them. Go download them 1,000 times.
Buy my old album, exactly. But also, bear in mind, remember Good Day You Say, remember Next, remember how rough we were back then? You don't, because at the time, you just listened. And over time, we got better.
Mm-hmm.
So give us the same grace.
Yeah.
We're feeling it out. We haven't done this before. We're new in town. but we'll find the rhythms and it'll be better than ever.
One of the new things with the format this year is going to be a video version of Look at This Photograph. So now, after you listen to the episode, you can go to our YouTube at Cinephobe Pod and watch a slideshow of all the Look at This photographs from this movie. It's super fun. Check it out on the YouTube page.
Maze had this idea. We massaged it. We worked with it. We patted on the butt, and we're ready for it to go.
Gave a little slap.
Also, you want to complain about it? I would say complain to your family, but we're hoping that your family has crumbled and that this is the only thing you have left.
Oh, boy.
I want to corner that market, right?
That's the strongest market there is on the internet.
The broken men market?
Families that have abandoned you.
Yes.
It goes both ways. There are women who have...
I'm with Amin on this.
Sometimes it's like, like the guy won the custody battle. Sometimes there were no kids. Maybe it's a dog.
Well, it's a dog, lost a house.
It's my dog.
Lost the savings, got grifted, crypto happened. I don't care.
Maybe you bought that Hawk Tua coin 9 months ago.
That Hawk coin, yeah, maybe you did that.
Holy shit.
I want people to be hanging on by a thread. And then they hear us talking about a man in a chimpanzee costume playing baseball. And they're like, you know what? This is going to be okay. I got Cinephobe.
And then they hear about Gordon Bombay and they say, maybe my life's not so bad.
Not so bad. I didn't get diddled for decades.
Quack Attack is back, Jack!
Amin has decided to bring us the 1990 B-action dark comedy, one-person army action, crime, drama, thriller, Marked for Death.
Action.
Just action?
It is. It's action, man.
They cut everything else out.
It's an action movie. The music.
This is cinema, man.
As soon as you hear that, whenever anyone's playing a keyboard like this, pecking 2 keys, that's action.
Marked for Death stars Steven Seagal, Keith David, and Basil Wallace. Seagal is a repeat offender for The Glimmerman and Half Past Dead.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Seagal had Above the Law in 1988. Well, you know all these.
Listen to the cold open.
Keith David, now a 6-time repeat offender.
Putting him up.
Volcano, Men at Work, Armageddon, Delta Farce, and Roadhouse.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
He had Roadhouse in 1989, Men at Work, and this movie in 1990, and Reality Bites in 94. And then Basil was in Free Willy 2, The Adventure Home, The Wood, Joyride, Blood Diamond, and Like Mike.
Don't forget that fraud, David Sampson's favorite movie, Grand Canyon.
That's not his favorite movie.
And this was Basil Wallace's debut.
His debut.
He was a stage actor, went out to Hollywood, booked the villain role in a Seagal movie, first try.
Tom Wright, who was Mr. Morgan in Seinfeld.
Yeah. Imagine my delight. This will continue. Zach and Maze do research on the cast before they watch the movie. I like finding out, is that Mr. Morgan?
He was in I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, Weekend at Bernie's 2, and a repeat offender as Lionel in White Man's Burden.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
You can't do that, Lionel.
Hold on.
That was my delight.
Yeah.
Because I looked at his face and I'm trying to figure it out.
He's Lionel throughout my entire notes.
He's Rasta Lionel for me.
To be fair,
Snoop Lionel.
Wow. Okay. I haven't seen White Man's Burden since we reviewed it the first time.
Oh, you weren't part of the Rewashington. That's right.
So I don't remember.
He's the one that fired Lewis.
He was the manager.
My fucking job, man.
Joanna Pakula from Tombstone.
Very horny resume for her.
Oh, super horny resume.
Body Puzzle. Captain Nuke and the Bomber Boys.
Yeah. That's us.
It means AI.
Oh. Get that from the cold open.
Elizabeth Grayson from 29 episodes of Highlander.
She was Miss America 1982. And then there was a Highlander spinoff called Highlander the Raven based around her character.
Could not be less interested. Danielle Harris from Don't Touch My Daughter, City Slickers, Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, The Last Boy Scout, Free Willy, and the Halloween 4 and 5 movies.
It tells the story too.
And then back for Halloween 2007.
Al Israel from Scarface, Carlito's Way, Drop Zone, and Body Double. Jeffrey Anderson Gunter.
Yeah.
Repeat offender for Don't Be a Menace and Encino Man.
I was like, is that Jeffrey Anderson Gunter?
Jag.
I was trying to remember his name. I didn't want to look up in the sheet, so I was like, oh, let me use AI. Let me use Gemini, which is Google's AI.
Ugh, don't use that shit.
This is the new and improved Amin in 2025.
Why are you using this stuff? It's so bad for everything.
Gemini, give me a plot summary of Marked for Death in 93 seconds.
Gemini, I can't type this out.
I said, Gemini, what's the name of the dude from Don't Be a Menace who's homeless but driving a Mercedes? It gave me Benjamin Everett. I'm like, that's not the name.
Congratulations. You just lost somebody their job by using Gemini.
You just poured out a bottle of water.
Mm-hmm.
Whose job?
Someone out there.
Whoever runs Gemini? Yeah, they should lose their job. That shit sucks dick.
Oh. Kevin Dunn, repeat offender for Almost Heroes and Snake Eyes.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
I'm guessing the bitch broad thing's off the table in 215 Beyond.
It's been off the table, man.
What'd I say? I didn't say nothing.
Peter Jason.
What I did to Fritzy? I didn't say nothing.
I didn't say nothing. That's the way I talk to a podcast. Peter Jason, repeat offender for Dante's Peak, Congo, Escape from LA, Glimmer Man, and Ghost of Mars.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Danny Trejo, repeat offender from Anaconda, Delta Farce, and Reindeer Games.
By the time he gets to Anaconda, his face is weathered. This is the first time I've seen Danny Trejo with a young face, and it was weird, man.
Gary Carlos Cervantes, repeat offender for Wild Wild West and Lowdown Dirty Shame.
Dennis Cervantes, what?
Earl Bowen from the Terminator franchise. Terry Weigel, repeat offender from Predator 2. Noel L. Walcott III, repeat offender from Encino Man. Matt O'Toole, repeat offender from White Man's Burden. Robert Apisa, repeat offender for Glimmer Man, Lowdown Dirty Shame, Heart Condition, and Fled. That's our guy Sunglasses from Heart Condition.
Mm-hmm. Ah, nice.
Yorga Kaye, repeat offender for Horrible Bosses 2. Robert Gatewood, repeat offender for Hook. Manny Perry, repeat offender for Loaded Weapon 1 and Predator 2.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Spell Yorga.
Jorga. Yorga.
That's Jorge. That's Jorge. It's like Jorge.
Maybe with a couple martinis in him.
Wow. Okay.
I said in him.
Betty Ford played his mom. She was a model turned professional bullfighter.
Not that Betty Ford.
Who was the first American woman to fight on foot in the Plaza Mexico, the world's largest bullfight arena.
Do it at the Run of the Bulls.
Jimmy Cliff as himself.
Nice.
And in breaking news, Gene LaBelle has passed Nicolas Cage. He's up to 17 repeat offenses in the last year. He had Men at Work, Marked for Death, Surviving the Game, and Dante's Peak.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
More on him in the trivia.
Cage will be back. Marked for Death was directed by Dwight H. Little. Dwight Howard Little has directed Halloween 4, Return of Michael Myers, Phantom of the Opera, Free Willy 2, The Adventure Home, Murder at 1600, Anacondas, The Hunt for the Blood Orchid, and The Last Rampage, which was a Brian Sussman production.
There's no way there's a white guy named Dwight Little anymore, right?
There's no way.
That name has been abandoned by the whites.
Absolutely.
Strictly the domain of the brothers.
Marked
Furman
for Death was written by Michael Grays and Mark Victor. They wrote Poltergeist, Poltergeist 2, and Cool World together.
Cool World is the Brad Pitt, Gabriel Byrne, Who Framed Roger Rabbit ripoff.
Like a film noir cartoon.
No way. I've never heard of this.
Probably have to do it at some point.
We do. It's terrible. It's really bad. I can't wait.
Gabriel Byrne tries to have sex with a cartoon that turns into Kim Basinger.
Basinger? I never know how to say that.
Synopsis for Marked for Death. A retired DEA agent is out to hunt down and take out a Jamaican drug posse that has targeted he and his family for murder.
Well,
yes.
They've marked them for death.
Tagline, he's a good cop in a bad mood.
Nope.
None of that.
Not a good cop.
Not accurate.
He's actually in a pretty good mood, too.
Yeah.
He's cracking jokes the whole time.
Yeah.
He's lighthearted.
Alternate taglines. They've attacked his family. They've killed his partner. They've made the wrong guy very, very angry. Now, Steven Seagal is... ... And then, in Above the Law, he got tough.
Yeah.
In Hard to Kill, he got even. Now the man with the short fuse is marked for death.
I need to find the origin of the man with the short fuse thing.
It's Steven Seagal. He's hitting everybody all the time.
I know, but who coined that? Who was calling him that in 1990?
I wonder who would coin that. Who would call Steven Seagal the man with the short fuse?
$12 million estimated budget.
Steven Seagal?
Grossed $46 million US, 57.9 million worldwide. That is a hit, boys.
It is.
Before we jump to this movie, you listen to the rest of this podcast. Marked for Death is available as a rental. I mean,
starting the year off right.
Don't watch it in too many places because Amazon Prime is going to get its brain all fucked up. Like, what?
Marked for Death receives 27% on 11 critic reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, but 50% from the audience on over 10,000 ratings. Amin, Like the positive or the negative reviews?
I'm a guy with my offhand chopped off kind of guy. Give me the positives.
Hey, John, that's weird. That glass looks half full to me.
Wow. Now that you mention it, it is half full.
David Nusser of Real Film Reviews. Marked for Death is at its best when focused on the comings and goings of the Take No Prisoners protagonist. Caffeinated Clint of Movie Hole. It was Clint. A bona fide Seagal classic.
What else could it have been?
Clit.
Oh.
But you'll never find it.
Okay. I won't because Pierre doesn't have one.
Yep.
Ask Gemini.
He doesn't have a big one.
Does Pierre have a clit?
Jeffrey M. Anderson.
Gemini says, yeah, it's right there.
Of San Francisco Examiner, 3 out of 5.
Jeffrey Anderson Gunther.
User Ajaz S, 5 out of 5 stars. Steven Seagal is a legendary martial artist with fists, feats, swords, guns, and his one-liners in all his film, especially on Deadly Ground, Above the Law, Hard to Kill, The Glimmer Man, and, of course, Marked for Death. User Paul M, 4 out of 5 stars.
Paul Millsap, congratulations on retiring.
$195 million in his career. If you like Steven Seagal, then this should be up your street. Lots of action. It's what he's all about. But the storyline has its limits. I loved it. Take it as it is and just enjoy.
Just enjoy?
Blank User, 5 out of 5. One of Steven's only good films.
Why would he call him Steven?
Blank User, 3.5 out of 5. The negative reviews don't really do this film justice. This is the only Seagal movie that is tops in my eyes. The Jamaicans kept it hot and is the only Seagal movie I have in my collection. Too bad it's DVD. Seagal does need to work on that lame-ass right hand when he's shown running. Kempo is an awesome art form.
That Michael John White?
Save note too.
Just his right hand while he's running?
Both hands.
Both hands.
And then Blank User, 3 out of 5. This is my favorite of all the Nico quadrilogy.
Nope.
It's the darkest, the most violent, and has the scariest bad guys or guys, as it were. Here, Nico, a.k.a. John Hatcher, is burned out narcotics agent. Okay, cool. Nico graduated from cop to agent. That's a stretch for Steve-O. More broken bones, blood, and Aikido throws and neck punches than you can shake a stick at. Screwface, bitches.
What's Nico short for, Zach?
Nicholas.
It's his character in Above the Law.
What was his character's name in Above the Law?
Nico Toscani.
What was Nico short for?
Spaghetti lasagna.
Not going to play the sound? Okay.
I hit a button.
Negative reviews.
I love Nicholas, all right?
It's like D.
It's D's timing. Not that he's ever had one. Oh my God.
Stop being a pessimist. This tank is not half full. It's half empty.
Gene Siskel of Chicago Tribune. Seagal looks like James Belushi on steroids and talks in a whisper, but is convincing in his martial arts moves.
Wow, I never thought of that.
Pretty good comparison.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Cuck O'Leary out of fullviewdrivein.com. Routine violence with one neat twist at the end. Alex Sandell of Juicy Cerebellum. Like almost all of Seagal's pictures, it's horrid.
Ouch.
Scott Weinberg of efilmcritic.com.
Do the voice?
Typical Seagal formula.
Oh, I thought he was going to do it.
Oh, Seagal formula. What's that?
Oh, God. I got it in droves and waves in this movie. John J. Puccio of Movie Metropolis.
Pucci, man.
Rated R for violence, killing, lots of, profanity, nudity, bone crushing, bone bashing, and bone breaking. The whole thing is boneheaded.
And boner-inducing sometimes.
Blank User, 0.5 star out of 5. Great Amazon Prime trailer.
No. Amazon Prime doesn't do a trailer. It just plays you a clip from the movie, which I hate.
Blank User, 2 out of 5. 2 stars for nostalgia. I really liked this as a kid, but it's aged badly. Again, another film that has a sequel feel about it. Seagal plays the same character out of Above the Law and Hard to Kill, but gives him a different name. And then last one, Blank User, 2 out of 5. The only good thing in Marked for Death is the spooky performance given by Basil Wallace as the Jamaican voodoo mobster Screwface. He's terrific. Everything else is total crap. We'll get Amin's first note, my first note, May's first note, and Roy Bellamy is going to join us after these messages, unless you are a Patreon member, patreon.com/countthedings, in which we'll just go right into it now. Hey, Roy.
Flex your business with an American Express Business Gold Card. You'll earn 4 times membership rewards points on your top 2 eligible spending categories, like transit and electronics, each month, on up to $150K in combined purchases per year. Plus, you can now earn 3 times membership rewards points on flights and prepaid hotels booked on AmexTravel.com. Terms and points cap apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-gold. Amex Business Gold, built for business by American Express.
Bored with your boring cardio? Stop pedaling that snooze cycle to Nowheresville and try some cardio that's actually fun. Supernatural Fitness, available on MetaQuest. Isn't that right, Jane Fonda?
Cardio will never be boring again.
Sweat to the beat of thousands of chart-topping songs inside stunning virtual landscapes.
Bet your stationary bike can't do that.
Visit GetSupernatural.com and join the next fitness revolution. Supernatural VR Fitness, only on MetaQuest. Rated Teen for Teen.
Oh, it's such a clutch off-season pickup, Dave.
I was worried we'd bring back the same team.
I meant those blackout motorized shades.
Blinds.com made it crazy affordable to replace our old blinds.
Hard to install?
No, it's easy. I installed these and then got some for my mom. She talked to a design consultant for free and scheduled a professional measure and install.
Hall of Fame son.
They're the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings in the world.
Blinds.com is the GOAT.
Shop Blinds.com right now and get up to 40% off select styles, plus a free professional measure. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Roy Bellamy from Meadowlark Media joins us here for episode 250, Marked for Death, new format. We're pulling out all the stops. Roy, thank you for joining us. Before we get to the meat and potatoes of this podcast and this new format,
I'm hungry, man.
I think we should do a better job of promoting what guests want to promote before we get to the end of the podcast. So what can we promote for you now?
Okay. I'm the producer of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugatz.
Heard of it?
Because Miami. And of the hockey show.
So go listen to all those, go subscribe, go rate and review and spend money on the sponsors and all that stuff.
Merch.
The hockey show is not sponsored yet. We're working on it. I actually host the show, by the way, not just produce. So I might as well put that out there because I forgot. Sorry.
Roy, you got to get a Canadian beer. I was about to say Jamaican beer. Wow. My brain is old.
Red Stripe?
Cases of Red Stripe coming right up.
Those little stubby bottles.
If we watch one of those commercials, I'm going to guess problematic.
Hooray, beer.
I'm going to guess it's not Irie.
Not Irie.
Oh, Jesus.
It's more blood clot? I don't understand any of what's been said in this movie.
Horseman.
I am so excited for Zach at the end of the movie to ask me, well, I mean, you picked it. Irie or not Irie?
Irie or blood clot?
Or blood clot.
Bumba clot.
Bumba clot. I like that.
Bumba clot, the blood clot, the duh.
Amin, what is your first note?
I actually sent my first note to Maze. Take it away.
Take them away, toys.
We have Steven Seagal, where he kicked the whole of Jamaica. He beat up 9 million Rastafarians and Marked for Death or Hard to Kill. Remember that? Oh, yeah. Only one white boy. We can kill him. He killed everybody in Jamaica.
9 million Rastafarians.
9 million Rastas.
Maze, what is your first note?
Danny Trejo getting hunted down in the opening scene. Repeat offender, Anaconda.
Yeah, that's right. Roy, what is your first note?
I got 2 first notes. The first one is that 20th Century Fox logo and the theme, by the way. That used to mean something, man.
Oh.
That used to mean something here in America.
Yeah, we used to be a real country.
Until Rupert Murdoch, until that Australian came in here and News Corporation swooped in and changed the entire course of this country's history. The entire course of this country's history.
Mm-hmm.
Note number 2 is, before this movie starts, I think we can all agree, Steven Seagal right now, ass off. Before the movie began.
Ass off?
Oh, sorry, misread.
Oh, wow. I got excited.
I thought,
no,
we're going to have very different opinions on this one.
No, we got the same opinion. We're flipping the switch on this one. Ass on.
Yeah.
Firmly planted.
What do you mean, Roy? What are you talking about?
Well,
it's impossible.
My first note, I can't tell if I'm misremembering it, but I feel like Seagal movies start off with intense music and credits so we know what we're in for the next 90 minutes. No cute preamble. It's Seagal time.
Yeah, they went straight to the point at the beginning of this movie, man. Who wrote the movie? Steven Seagal. Title, Chase. Let's go.
Maze and Zach, you both sound like Chris Cody doing his Joe Biden impression when you guys do Seagal.
Yeah, you do.
No, this is Steven Seagal. What are you talking about?
No, see, we're talking about this before you came on, Zach. Seagal's got a little bit of Bayou. Roy, what would you call his?
Cajun? Bayou?
Cajun.
Chicago.
Well, he got a little Cajun in him, but he's still whispering like this.
Not at this point.
I just want to tell you for some reason, but you know what it is.
Nah, it sounds like Dr. John.
Everything's Irie. Don't worry about it. Or maybe it's blood clot. We'll find out at the end of the movie.
Maybe it's bummer clot. You never know.
All right, our new format, after we get our first note in, and again, Do not complain about this new format. You're going to love it. Get fucking used to it. We're not going back to the old one. The new format is here. So right after the first note, we get into plot summary.
Why don't you try telling us what the fuck happened?
Maze has come up with this idea that we have as many seconds as there are minutes in the movie to tell you what happens in this movie, what this movie's about.
Let me tell you, the first time trying to cram this movie into 93 seconds was a challenge, but I figured it out, and I'm excited to see what you guys come up with and also how we develop this as it goes along. But I have 93 seconds on the clock.
I figured we've got the pick going first, right?
Yeah, Amin goes first.
All right.
I'm going to tell you this. I didn't prepare it.
Oh.
I decided I'm just going to freestyle it and we're going to see what I get to.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm just going for it. But I wanted to hear Amin first and maybe even Maze first, but I'm happy to go whenever.
I wrote mine out. Definitely not 90 whatever seconds, but here it goes.
Well, how many is it?
I don't know. We're about to find out.
Yeah, same here.
Ready?
Mass murderer retires from mass murder only to be called out of retirement back into mass murder after his family is marked for death in retaliation for 2 murders he commits during his retirement from mass murder. After developing several weapons of mass murder, he embarks to Jamaica alongside a future baseball executive and a high school football coach who has completely abandoned his team mid-season to wage wholesale mass murder on foreign soil.
Wow.
Well, there you go. That was 28 seconds.
Wow.
All right.
I feel like I kind of captured the movie. I don't know.
No, you covered it.
Yeah, you covered it.
You got to Jamaica so fast. I was amazed.
Once you got to Jamaica, I thought, wow, he's really going to hone in on this final scene.
You want me to go next?
Yeah, you go.
Steven Seagal is doing a deal in South America. It goes bad. His partner Chico killed by a stripper with nary a drop of exposition. Back to Chicago, Seagal abruptly retires from the DEA, visits his family. It seems like they've never met, but reconnects with his military buddy Keith David. Meanwhile, Tito Barca, head of the Colombians, meets with Screwface, head of the Jamaicans, who says, I be everywhere. Do we have a two-faced Screwface situation? Tito decides to practice Santeria, even though he ain't got no crystal ball. Massive gunfight between the gangs. Seagal and Keith are there. Rasta Lionel and Lady Professor get involved. Tito dies off camera. Seagal uncorks an elaborate dam analogy. Instantaneous Jamaican drive-by shooting sends his niece to the hospital. Now it's personal. Seagal tracks down Johnny Fingers, starts working his way up the ladder. Screwface leaves a cow's tongue on his door. Lady Professor tells him that means he's marked for death. Screwface nearly kills his sister. Car chase, gunfight. Screwface traps Seagal with construction vehicles, but doesn't confirm the kill, goes to Jamaica instead. Rasta Lionel joins Seagal and Keith, three's not a crowd, armed to the teeth, flying air Jamaica, break into the compound, kill everyone. Seagal decapitates Screwface. Movie's over, right? Nope. 12 minutes left. Back to Chicago, Jamaican HQ, film noir, Screwface 2, stabs Lionel. Seagal sword fights with Screwface 2 in the club. Eye gouge, dick grab, backbreaker, dummy toss finisher. I hope they weren't triplets.
Wow.
Screwface 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Minute 26 seconds on my clock. You got under in 7 seconds.
Wow.
Well done.
Good job.
I beat it. I beat the time.
Wow. That was impressive.
That was really good.
Roy, would you like to go or you want me to go?
I can go. I wrote this as if it was a movie trailer, and I'm going to read it as if it was a movie trailer. So here we go.
Oh, I like that.
Steven Seagal plays John Hatcher, a DEA operative who decides that he's tired of doing what cops love to do today, breaking the law and doing immoral acts such as murder and sex as an excuse for solving crimes. After his partner is killed in an operation in Colombia, he goes to his former home in suburban Chicago to see family while he's, quote unquote, trying to retire, but is thrusted into having a stare-down contest with a Jamaican drug cartel known as the Posse, led by Screwface, who is feared and believed to be magical. After his family is endangered, Seagal, together with Keith David, whom he served in the military with, will have to deal with Screwface and the Posse, all while being marked for death. Rated R.
Wow, 50 seconds on my clock. That was really impressive.
Nailed it.
Well done. That was really good, man.
Thank you.
All right, Zach.
Zach's going to wing it.
Gonna wing it.
Freestyle off the dome.
We wish you luck on this one.
93 seconds on the clock.
Steven Seagal and some guy named Chico are in Mexico going after Danny Trejo, trying to make a deal with a bunch of guys who whisper and really just have American accents in business suits. They're in a strip club. They're killing strippers. They're not killing strippers. I don't really understand what's happened. Some guy's got a weird sword knife thing going on, but the deal goes south. Chico gets shot. He's alive? I don't know what's I think he might be dead. I don't know. I don't know if he's dead or alive, but they were back in Chicago. Steven Seagal goes bragging about how many people he slept with to a priest. Then he retires from being a narcotics agent, or I don't know where he actually works. Is it FBI? Is it CIA? You never know with Steven Seagal. He goes home. He has no idea who this family is, but he calls them their uncle. He goes and plays with his little toy. Is that a gun? Is that John Morant's gun? I don't know. Then he goes and hangs out at football practice with Keith David, who they're friends. Are these kids smoking crack next to the football field? I have no idea what's happening here. We're going to go to a bar. This bartender is, she doesn't do double shots or whatever. I don't know what happens here. Maybe she's into both of them. Who knows? Gunfight, car chase, cow tongue. We don't know where this movie is headed. I know Screwface is the evil guy. I know they're trying to make sure that Jamaicans are evil, but also not evil at the same time. We're going to hammer that point home a lot during this movie. Hey, let's go do a car chase. Let's go do a jewelry store and beat the shit out of some guys. I love Jeffrey Anderson Gunter. We're going to go to Jamaica. We're going to storm the compound. We're going to cut off a head. Twins? Oh my God, Mark for Death.
Oh my God, Mark for Death.
See, you did what I did when I first wrote my summary, which was I spent 25 seconds on the opening scene.
Yeah.
And then I said, wait, this isn't going to work out. We need to get going.
A lot of exposition about Mexico or whatever Latin American country they're in.
Front-loaded.
Yeah.
It was a front-loaded summary. I liked it, though. You brought it home. You nailed it. Mark for Death.
Mm-hmm. I think I just got in under 93 seconds on my clock.
No, you did. That was at the buzzer.
Yeah.
Your fingers had released the ball before the buzzer went off.
We did the replay review and
before the red lights came on.
Oh, man. When you were telling the story last night, you had so much detail. The detail was so rich. It was rich detail. Go into incredibly descriptive details of the story so we all know.
Oh, yes.
All right, Amin, we are now in the scene theme breakdown portion of the new format in this year 250 of Cinephobe. So where are we starting off with this one?
Well, I got to be honest with you guys. Listening to everyone's plot summaries, you guys seem really intrigued by the life and times of Chico.
Yes.
So let's start with the beginning of the movie, the opening scene.
Thank you.
Oh, God.
Yep.
We're in some Latin American country. Is it Mexico? Is it Nicaragua? Is it Venezuela? We don't know. They don't really tell us. Colombia, maybe, because later on we find out these drug dealers are from Colombia.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
The ones that are in Lincoln Heights, by the way, not Chicago, as some people have said.
Not Chicago proper.
No, it's Lincoln Heights.
It's a suburb.
It's Chicagoland.
Chicagoland. Jinx, I got, yeah, there we go.
So we see Danny Trejo, and I said this in the intro, but seeing a young Danny Trejo, young in the face Danny Trejo, shocking.
You keep saying Trejo.
So what is it?
Trejo.
Trejo.
Okay.
Trejo is like if you're in a forest with a date.
Oh, man, come on, dude.
Got kids here, man. Come on. Seeing him young in the face really threw me off. The other thing that threw me off is that older movies featuring him don't give a shit about letting us know that he's short.
Mm-hmm. That's true, yeah.
As his career progresses, he's always presented as this massive, towering dude, the big bad dude. But early in his career, he's a little dude. He's like a little dude running. Seeing Seagal run, kind of funny and shocking.
Oh, man.
He does not have it.
No, he's not a runner.
But he's giving it his all.
Is he?
He's giving it his all. When we see Liam Neeson run, we are watching an old man amble.
Yeah.
Seagal is booking it. He's not fast, but he's booking it. Look this way. In Liam Neeson's mind, he knows I'm not running fast, but this is as fast as I can go, guys. When Seagal runs, he thinks he's running like Carl Weathers in Hurricane Smith.
Oh, no.
He thinks he's Tom Cruise?
He thinks he's a former NFL player showing you his 40 time.
And notice when he does run, he's pinching his face and, he's pinching his eyebrows like, and he's pursing his lips like, he's doing a face.
He was grimacing really hard.
He's got T-Rex arms.
T-Rex arms that are full of helium?
With no bones.
Floating around.
Flopping everywhere.
Spinning like a pinwheel.
Compare and contrast for me, Zach. Seagal arms versus Taffer arms. Because they have a lot of the same build, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Not now, but maybe in a couple of years.
Seagal has broader shoulders. That's the issue with Taffer's arms, is you see the decline in form once we get to about, what is it, mid-deltoid or whatever?
Yeah.
Mid-trap, mid-deltoid.
The trapezoid, yeah.
It falls off a cliff. And then you go into the scrawny arms.
Jimmy Cliff.
Whereas I don't think Seagal has scrawny arms. I think he doesn't know how to carry his arms in any way.
Maybe that's part of the Aikido. You got to be able to be kind of floppy in order to slap people away, right?
That bullshit martial arts shit.
Oh man,
that he's doing.
My Instagram algorithm sent me another one, like a news story from like the 80s. Like, this is Steve. They call him Steve in the clip.
Steve, yeah.
Introducing Aikido. Notice how he never actually hits anybody, but merely redirects everybody. And it's exactly that. It's him flopping his arm around and people flying.
Yeah.
Flying. And this isn't a dojo. This isn't a movie.
He absolutely loves slapping people around in this movie, even playfully.
Loves it.
He slaps everybody.
Kids.
He slapped the shit out of Chico.
It was a horseman for me early. He fell off,
Yeah.
but his way of showing affection / being a big brother type to Chico especially is a lot of touching and slapping.
A lot of slapping.
So they throw Danny Trejo
There you go.
into the trunk. The big meet is going to happen. Chico doesn't want to do it. He thinks their cover is blown. Seagal says the meet goes on. So they go to the strip club. The stripper walks out. Why is she walking like this? You ever seen those videos of women on the catwalk and they're not used to walking in high heels?
Right. The ankles are flopping.
They start to wobble. That's what I thought was happening.
The ankles are flopping like Steven Seagal's arms, I guess.
Yeah.
We're here with this mysterious character with a hat on.
Sweaty.
Sweatiest man we've ever seen.
Everybody in these 90s movies are incredibly sweaty at all times. One guy asks him, see anything strange? He responds, you mean other than that woman who has absolutely 0.0 cheeks?
Oh.
Just the usual weirdness.
Inappropriate.
I mean, come on.
How did I know he would find a way to still include that?
I think I had that in my notes.
It's a strip club. They didn't cast her for her personality.
They casted one of the strippers that shoot somebody. Chico.
They cast for gratuitous, which is just also a horseman in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
I'd rather they cut it from waist up and we just see her back and assume that she's naked than to see this. Anyways, they go into the back room to do the meet. Says you got the money, opens a briefcase full of cash. Ladies and gentlemen, that's 20 CB.
Absolutely.
We don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
I love the question. Did you bring the green?
As opposed to the blue.
Much smoother briefcase opening than our guy in Deadfall. Chico was slick with it. He got it open, clean. It wasn't a hesitation.
I don't want to disparage briefcase guy, okay?
A rewatchington legend.
He's a hero.
So we go meet the big boss. His name is Salazar, which I should not say this, but it's a 20 CB bad guy name.
Absolutely.
Was that Salazar? I'm not sure.
Really?
I could have used some exposition.
Salazar sees the money. We got a deal. Nice doing business with you. Guy comes in, lets Salazar know. Some shit going on, man.
A lot of whispering.
Spanish whispering.
Seagal does the nervous, okay, what's happening here? Film noir, find out Danny Trejo got out of the trunk. And then film noir, the guy that told Salazar what happened, shoots him in the face.
Shoots him? Why?
And I didn't know whether that meant he was with Seagal or is this his power play?
Oh, he's the real boss.
Thought it was a power play, but once again, would love to know.
Yep.
Would love to know what Seagal is doing there. Would love to know what the deal is for. I guess it's for drugs because he's in the DEA.
Well, it's going to come back, right? It's setting up a bigger villain at the end.
Hate to break it to you, he's going to retire as soon as he leaves.
Oh, shit.
Then we're never going to pick this shit up again.
As my man who I guess made the power play has the gun out, Seagal grabs a sword?
It's kind of a sword.
A katana?
It's too big to be a knife. It's too short to be a sword.
It's a machete.
But it's not a machete either because it's not thick like a machete.
The weird thing about the scene is that my man with the gun, he's got two guns. He's got it under control, and he's got both guns pointing at Seagal. Machete, sword, katana guy then approaches. What are you doing? We had it under control. Why are you coming up close?
Well, he needed to get the machete.
Yeah, he had to get the machete.
Unless he was delivering the machete to Seagal. Hey, man, you dropped this. He then uses that to cut my man's hand off.
Not a lot of momentum on that actual swipe for that hand to be cut off.
No.
How sharp is that knife?
It's all in the wrist, Roy. Now we got ourselves a whole shit show. They're running through there. Chico opens a door.
They are clearing corners about as poorly as you can.
Yeah.
There is zero military or law enforcement training helping craft these scenes.
This was, hey man, just turn the corner with the gun. All right, got it.
It's as bad as it gets.
He opens the door. There's a stripper in there. Who's got a private room?
Well, they all had private rooms.
Is it a brothel or is she the star stripper?
No. They're fucking customers left and right and extorting money.
It's a champagne room, except there's no champagne. It's more like a mezcal.
Oh.
Or, tequila with the worm in it.
Oh.
What mezcal, you say? She turns and says, por favor, no más, no más.
Careful.
And I'm like, no más what? I didn't understand what she was no masing right there.
She's heard gunshots. She knows what's going down.
Doesn't matter because she is deceitful.
Oh.
Deceitful, pulls out a gun, shows us the gratuitopos, and she blasts Chico twice. He's got 2 massive gunshot wounds in his chest.
It's a big fucking hole.
Seagal lights up this room indiscriminately. There might have been a child in there.
Nobody knows.
There might have been a John in there. It could have been anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Everybody's dead. She plays dead. I said Zach will no doubt say that she did it better than Art.
Of course.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Art was breathing.
End scene.
Here's the thing. I think Chico's alive at the end.
Yes.
How?
They carry him out. He's still kind of like,
How?
Well, that's like the end, too. Rasta Lionel also may be alive.
No, Lionel's dead.
We don't know.
No. Both of these guys are dead.
No, Roy, Chico's alive.
Maybe in that scene he was dying, but we found out when he went back to Chicago, when Steven Seagal did, the guy who we all saw in 48 Hours as a bartender said to him that we know that your partner died and everything and blah, blah, blah.
What a great pull.
That's right.
And then Jaws, he's dead. You know why? Because he did the whole neck thing to check for a pulse and he said, sorry, man. That's how we knew.
But then they carried him.
No man left behind. Military.
We're not going to leave him in a Red Stripe warehouse.
Exactly.
Hooray beer.
Did you catch the name of the club?
The Reggae Directory Club.
RDC.
No. Of where they were in Mexico.
Oh, no.
No.
The sign says Club Tecate.
Nice.
I swear to God.
Not a single bottle on site.
All right. My first thing that I want to focus on is Steven Seagal being terrible at monologues. I've got 3 of them for you. It's a 3-pack.
Be respectful.
First one is the confession when he gets back to Chicago.
I knew that the only justice that I could get would be that I made for myself, not always by law. Father, I just killed a woman. I've lied. I've slept with informants. I've taken drugs. I've falsified evidence. I did whatever I had to do to get the bad guys. And then I realized something. That I had become what I most despise.
He's just bragging.
What is he confessing to? Guilty. Guilty of what? Being awesome?
Yes.
Yep. And the priest says, you know what you need to do for that? Go find your family. Find the gentle self. Doesn't work.
Yeah.
Bad advice.
Doesn't even tell him to do Hail Marys.
I slept with informants. Multiple.
Yes.
I've taken drugs. I've falsified evidence. You're a bad cop.
Awful cop.
No, he's undercover, though.
He's also not a cop. He's a DEA agent.
Oh, that's true, yeah. Different rules.
He's a troubleshooter.
He's one of the best because his commanding officer really doesn't want him to retire. Follow that monologue up with his damn analogy to explain why he's not going to get involved with the Jamaican drug dealers in town.
I love this.
Let me tell you something. It's like you see this big dam with a leak in it. You plug it with your finger. Pretty soon you see more holes, bigger ones. You plug it with your other fingers. You plug it with your toes. You plug it with your tongue. But the water keeps on gushing out. That's the way it is. Pretty soon, you quit or get killed. 5 days later, they got some shitbird cherry to take your place, to give them your shield, and you're forgotten about. The way I look at it, you come home, mind your own business, watch your own yard. And then, trouble finds you, you go after it, and you bite its head off. Before it does the same thing to you.
Yeah, we get it. There's always going to be something, Seagal. That doesn't mean you should just stand aside and be a bystander.
While they sell crack in the high school.
This man has been in war. He's been in drug cartels. He's been everywhere undercover. He doesn't give a shit about some crack selling at a high school. He's got great perspective.
Hey, man, there's nothing you can do, and there never was. What are you talking about? That's something I can do right now.
That's literally law enforcement.
It's also an incredibly elaborate live forever McBain situation.
Oh, yes.
Because in the same scene, the Jamaican drive-by.
If trouble finds you, you go after it and bite its head off before it does the same to you. This is a synopsis of this movie.
Yeah.
To which Keith David says, trouble is tapping us both on the shoulder, and you don't want to turn around.
That's a great line. That's a bar.
It's a bar, but it's also what's about to happen in a couple of minutes.
Not even.
seconds.
8 seconds later.
Same scene. They don't even cut the camera.
He turned that corner.
He drives away. The camera lingers for some reason. The Jamaicans drive right up.
Yeah, it's like they were late for their cue.
Then the last monologue I had pulled was when he interrogates the great Johnny Fingers, who is, of course, a mob guy that for some reason...
The lawyer.
...is hooked up with the Jamaicans, bailing Jamaican streets out of jail.
I'm telling you right now, that dude looks exactly like Dick Stockton.
Great call.
Like a young Dick Stockton.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. You bailed out a Jamaican street named Monkey the other day. I want him. This other piece of shit, Screwface, I want him. Now, I know you're a scumbag and a puke. I don't mind that. You give me what I need, I'm gonna leave here a nice guy. You don't, I'm gonna fuck you up.
The monologues.
The longer he has to talk uninterrupted,
the better.
It's a problem.
Oh.
The one-liners, while not tremendous, are better.
Yeah.
Because he's done talking sooner.
I submit to you guys that with a name like Jimmy Fingers, there's no way he can't get up on our cork board in this diddling ring that Cinephobe has uncovered.
Ooh.
He's got his fingers in everything.
That's interesting.
When the feds are trying to explain the problem with these Jamaican posses, they're organized, they got more guns, they got more balls. Jimmy Fingers is giving them everything from arms to legal protection. And I said, someone who's offering legal protection named Jimmy Fingers, that's a diddler.
Interesting.
You earn a name like that. You're not just given that one.
I think Jimmy Fingers, I don't know if we have enough for this, CT5 middleman. That guy is a great bridge between things that need to happen in this movie.
Yep, you're exactly right.
I don't know if he's a middleman, but he is the get out of jail free card in this movie. How are the Jamaicans pulling this off? Don't worry, Jimmy Fingers is helping them out.
Well, how does he do it? Don't worry about it. He once was in Atlantic City.
Forget about it.
He's a made man.
I'm fucking Jimmy Fingers. I'm a made fucking man. Shot right in the head.
And then what's he say to him?
God made men.
God made men.
Bars.
Horsemen.
Shot in the head, eyes closed, hits the chair, eyes open.
Eyes open.
Art. And I don't mean the class.
Oh, I thought you were complimenting the scene.
No, I'm saying, how do your eyes open again? How does that happen? That's not science. That's not biology. That's not forensics.
Anatomy.
It's none of it. It made no sense. But Jimmy Fingers also one of the most confusing head shapes I've ever seen.
It's his hair.
Yeah, it looks like Dick Stockton, apparently.
It's kind of the hair, though. We've got a Domantas Sabonis situation where I cannot figure out the shape of his head. I have stared at it for a long time, and I can't figure out where it starts and where it ends.
Keeps you guessing.
It's almost like a thinner version of Flat Top from Dick Tracy.
Yes. God, I wish that movie qualified. That would be a great Cinephobe episode.
Yes, it would be, yeah.
May I submit a scene?
Please.
I think it's my favorite scene in the movie. Football practice.
Oh, man.
Dude.
Same note too, bro.
Talking about practice?
Here comes trouble.
We roll up to football practice, and Seagal is strutting in. He loves it, grabs a football.
Yep.
He's happy to be on the field.
The disembodied voice of Keith David saying, "Hey, stupid."
He also calls a kid a maggot.
Tackling 10 yards down the field ain't shit, pardon my French.
What?
Zach, did he play football at all anytime in his life?
I mean, did you not see the photos?
Or the jersey?
That Lincoln Heights jersey.
That would never have that stitching on it.
Did he play for like Lincoln Heights semi-pro team or?
That's high school.
HS, baby.
How'd you know it's a high school?
Oh, because it's stitched on the jersey.
Oh, because it says HS. So it's not Lincoln Heights Community College. It's Lincoln Heights. Oh, got it.
All of a sudden, we cut to, is this a young Jonah Hill? Is it a young Fred Katz? I don't know, but he's hitting the weed by a car next to the field.
Sitting next to Hillary Swank.
And immediately says, cool. That's not how weed works. The Jamaican drug dealer then goes, make you happy?
Happy.
Hey, we have lots more where that came from, you know. Don't worry about it. Be happy.
Happy as a horseman. It dies down.
So then Seagal needs his friend Keith David to know he's there.
Coach, put me in. Put me in. I'll be dead.
Golden dumpster for this slow walk by Keith David as he realizes who's there.
So ass off.
That's acting.
This man is ass the fuck off. Lock him in.
Trouble.
It's me.
And I heard you were shot dead in the streets of Bangkok.
Well, I was in Bangkok. I was there. But I didn't get shot, if that's all right with you.
Hell yeah.
We get exposition.
That head tilt, though.
Oh, the saunter, the head tilt, the sly smile. Oh my God. This is a fucking clinic.
Now, there's a couple of things I'd like to point out in this scene. Number one, they spent zero budget on graphic design or anything because Keith David's Lincoln Heights hat is literally block letters LH.
Yeah.
Not the way the Dodgers logo, not a cursive.
L and H.
Number two, like in Glimmerman, I get the sense that Seagal is trying to one-up the banter with him. I was there, but it gets shot. That's all right with you. That's like Martin from Role Models. If I had a nickel for every time, I would have enough to play one pinball game, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Number three, and Zach is really, really not going to like this note, but I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
I'm looking at young Keith David in the face. You know who he looks like? I understand it now.
Don't you do this. He absolutely does not look like that fucking fraud.
He does look like Lethal Shooter, man.
No, he doesn't.
He does.
By the way, his name is Chris, okay? That's his fucking name.
I can't call him Lethal?
No, his name is Chris.
What if he was in the movie with Seagal instead of Keith David? Would we call him Chris or would we call him Lethal Shooter then, right?
No, he'd be, Chris, I'm Chris Matthews. I didn't get shot in Bangkok. If that's all right with you.
Chris Matthews? From Hardball?
Yeah, Hardball.
That's his name. Chris Matthews.
MSNBC over here.
So we get these who I thought were just weed dealers.
Nope.
Casually hanging out at high school.
Did you see the size of the blunt?
It was something even Snoop would be like, I don't know about this. Hold on. Let's ease into this. Then they bust out crack.
You know, if you like that, you should have tried some of this thing right here. Send you right to heaven. Make Cloud9 look soft.
Is that crack?
That it is, man. You know, the real deal. The shit hear about on the news. Hey, it's funny, you know. Other man always tell lie about certain things where make us happy. You know, see it?
It's crack, man.
It's crack, man.
Red Cat's ass. Whoa, is that crack?
Hey, you want to not deal drugs in a fucking helicopter tunnel? You want to keep it down a little bit, Fred Katz?
You just smoked weed for the first time.
It said, cool.
You're escalating to crack?
That man got called up to the big leagues quick.
And the girl's just like, I'm in. Light me up.
She's ass off.
What?
The brazen nature of this drug dealing. First of all, they're giving away all the samples for free. I get it. You know, you give them some that come back, whatever.
Yeah.
But they're doing free samples in broad daylight on school grounds.
I have to enunciate this very carefully, okay?
Oh, Nicholas?
They nag her into this.
But you don't want to try this. It's too tough. Let me make them want love all the time, you know.
I'll try
it. All the time. Sure thing, pretty girl. Go and put it right up to your lips.
Make you want to love all the time.
Maze, I need you to clip Dewey Cox.
Get out of here, Dewey.
What are y'all doing in here?
It's called cocaine, and you don't want no part of this shit.
Cocaine? What's it do?
It turns all your bad feelings into good feelings. It's a nightmare.
I'm thinking maybe I'd like to try me some of that cocaine.
You don't want to do this, Dewey?
That's exactly what they're doing to her. You don't want no parts of this.
We end the scene. Practice is over. Keith tells Seagal he was gone so long he missed his entire marriage.
How was it?
Cambodia was more fun. I mean, I love giving away all my possessions. Makes me feel real spiritual. Then he mean mugs the drug dealers. This girl who just hit a crack pipe for the first time in her life is so aware of her surroundings, sees this, runs off, Sean Astin digging a pool. This girl will be in the ground.
Zach's right. The stories I've heard from people who've smoked crack, like what's crack like? They all say the same thing. A millisecond into inhaling it, you feel better than you've ever felt in your entire life. And then when you come down off of that, you feel so awful and you want to feel that feeling again for the rest of your life. And so you chase that first high, you never catch it because you need more and more crack. And it never matches up to that first time you got high.
Yeah.
And there's no such thing as a functional crack smoker, right?
No.
What Pete David does when he's talking about his ex-wife and Cambodia and all that, this is all a very, very specific combination called banter's position.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
He's bantering, but he's also telling us, I was with you in the war over there. I got married. I got divorced. We're getting caught up on who Keith David is.
Combination.
There it is.
Right on time.
It's really slow today. It's not great.
It's really D. Reynolds today.
When he stares at the drug dealers, he is, of course,
ass off
doing the I understand it now.
No, stop that.
Yes.
Stop that.
It's that head tilt. He did it again.
Absolutely incredible. End scene.
All right, Roy, what you got for us?
I want to point out this particular scene here during the shootout at the bar. All right. So, guy comes in, I guess second in command or whatever, about to finish the job, and Steven Seagal comes in and stops it.
Yeah.
Effectively, if the sound effects were to tell you his wrist is broken.
Yes.
And it looked like it was broken. His wrist is going this way now.
Bone cracking horseman.
Yeah, bone crack is a horseman.
But the reaction this guy made, he was surprised. Like, hey, whoa, what are you, boy? What are you, boy? What, boy?
I'm just going to have to send all of the things I wrote down to Roy so he can say that.
Hey, boy! Somebody I go dead tonight! Right, what are you, boy? Me don't know you enough, but I promise you is a dead man walking.
So what else is new?
He no-sold Steven Seagal's move.
Mm-hmm.
He's supposed to be writhing in pain, but no, he's trying to say, I don't know who you are, man, but you're dead, man. You're dead, man. Like, you're no-selling. You're supposed to be in agonizing pain with a broken wrist. That's something that I really wanted to point out there. You got to sell for Steven Seagal. I'm sure they probably had words afterwards like, hey, man, listen, you made this look like I didn't actually hurt you. Man, it looked like nothing happened. You're supposed to be yelling. Post-production, they're going to have broken bone sounds happening.
Seagal doesn't care about post-production.
No, I'm sure he's out.
He's gone.
That whole scene at McGillicuddy's Shamrock Penis's Dublin Saloon.
Oh.
I mean, you've got to be with me. That's one of the greatest bars that would never be rescued.
They already had a butt funnel.
Yeah, they had a shitload of butt funnels, great dance floor, great pool area, great bar, bartender super attentive right away.
Yeah.
Get some drinks right. I mean, that is everything. They care about that.
As soon as Keith David and Steven Seagal walked into the bar.
Hey, nurse.
Exactly. Hey, nurse.
I got an emergency here.
Call a doctor.
That's nurse work.
I think it's really funny to call a waitress a nurse.
Nurse.
Give me a beer and get my man a double.
In a packed bar.
And she tries to banter back with,
I don't do doubles on the first date.
That's not what I heard.
Banter.
Oh, and it reminded me of Terry Silver. I know. That's not what I heard. That's what that is. But Zach, to go back to what you're talking about, it would be a bar rescue bar. Because there's going to be something happening where they're losing a shit ton of money.
What, the shootout?
Dapper's watching the recon. He notices, greets the customer. And Russell Davis or whatever is with him was like, yeah, good pour on that beer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like a pretty happening place. Why aren't they making any money? And then a shootout happens.
Shootout, drug dealers. Yes.
That's what Tapper says. Even though this place looks like it's pretty successful.
I don't understand what the problem is. Yeah.
You got to shut it down because guess what? Thugs don't want to be in high-end, well-lit places.
He would absolutely call them thugs, too.
Yeah.
He would.
He did it. Remember the one in the South Bronx? Where he told them basically the whole problem was because it wasn't well-lit enough and thugs hate the light. And so if we light up the outside and make it very bright, the thugs will stay away.
He cured someone's alcoholism by making him put on a suit.
This scene also highlights how Seagal is bad at banter. Because Seagal's banter is, I think I remember this place. This is the one where the ugly girls work.
Oh,
yeah.
Terrible.
The jerk store called. They're running out of you.
Yeah.
While we're talking about Taffer, Tito's guy calls Tito and literally says, I'm going in.
I'm going in. Yes. Same note too.
Come on.
He wasted a quarter on that.
Roy, they got fucking drug money.
I know.
Yeah, but you don't pay in quarters. Quarters are tough to come by, man.
You needed to change for $1. I'm sorry. I don't know what to...
Keith David's talking about all these people in his life who have died from drugs recently. Mm-hmm. There's some real Final Destination vibes around Keith right now.
You saw that half-hearted apology that Steven Seagal said when he mentioned his niece dying?
I'm sorry.
I mean, it is kind of ridiculous.
What?
The sister blamed him for everything?
Yep. Oh boy, I have a problem with that, man. Oh my goodness.
Let me just say this. We need a new category.
Okay.
It's not ass on. It's not ass off, but it is overacting. The sister overacts every scene.
My baby.
Scene calls for a 7. She gives us a 15. It's not ass on.
Yeah, it is.
Do you think she was ass on?
It's 100% ass on.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Are you kidding me?
Trying to cry.
Read the room.
Yo, let's go to the drive-by scene. May's already kind of set it up with the monologue.
Yeah.
I could watch Seagal dive to the floor all day long.
He crawled across the room.
You give me a supercut of that, I'll be perfectly happy.
This is one of my big observations of that scene because I rewound it to make sure. Did he grab his sister and pull her down? Nope.
Every man for himself.
Every man for himself.
No, she was out of the room.
She can't be out of the room. She's carrying her fucking shot child. His maybe niece.
No, during the shootout, when the bullets came through the house, they were out of the room. She was out of his reach, so he couldn't grab her.
But he didn't look for her once.
No, he sixth sense that the bullets were coming and he got out of the way.
They unload.
Yes, they did.
Look, I've only seen drive-bys in movies, okay? I can't speak to this, but I feel like even drive-bys in movies, they don't shoot that much into the house.
There's a lot of bullets in the clip, apparently.
It was a lot of bullets.
For what? Because he got a guy arrested?
Because he hurt the guy's wrist.
Yeah.
It broke his wrist.
By the way, hurting wrists, horseman.
Wrist holds, yes.
Arms, all the arms.
We hear clack, clack, clack every single time.
Yeah.
He's destroyed. There's an orthopedic surgeon somewhere in Kingston who's like, I got it made.
In my heart, this is where my TikTok chiropractor, the OC chiropractor, got his inspiration to become one. Heard all these bones crack. He's like, you know what? I can make a business out of this.
Mm-hmm.
I like that sound.
To answer your question, why? Is because the scene where he got bailed out of jail.
By Jimmy Fingers.
That's when Screwface came in and said to his face, if a man commits a crime against you, you pay him back 1,000-fold.
1,000.
And there you go. 1,000 bullets into the house.
I still feel like it's a little bit more than 1,000. I think if he just shot him.
No, there were 1,000 bullets.
It's not 1,000-fold because there was no one bullet.
Well, it's just a start.
That's more than 1,000. It's way more than 1,000.
Here, you broke my wrist. I'm going to shoot 1,000 bullets into your house.
Breaking a wrist is a fraction of a bullet, which
No.
means to be a fraction of 1,000, 200 bullets maybe.
He gets up and I was fucking howling. I'm crying laughing because it cuts to her holding her child. I can't even tell where this kid got shot.
Shoulder.
That put all that pressure on her brain?
In the hospital, her whole head was wrapped up.
Goddamn mummy.
I don't know. I just saw blood stains on the shoulder.
You're not incorrect, Roy.
Johnny, they hurt my baby.
You're right. There's just one blood stain and her face looked fine. But when we get to the hospital, we find out she looks like she just got back from Turkey with a hair transplant.
That seems like one of those rewrites that Steven Seagal made him do.
For sure.
Hey, listen. I want to make sure that this girl got shot in the head. Now she has a hematoma in her brain.
I got a line about treating her like the president.
Oh, yeah.
And trying to tough talk this doctor.
Sir, we take care of all of our patients. Treat her like the president of the United States.
I said the president.
President of the United States.
Not the president of Jamaica.
The United States.
By the way, that girl was taking a nap.
Mm-hmm.
She's sleepy.
When she was unstable.
Unstable. The girl moved her head.
Roy, he called her unstable, and I said, the girl or her mom? It's your fault, your fault, your fault.
One, yes. Two, he says, and money isn't a consideration. How much have you been embezzling from falsified evidence as a DH?
Same note too, bro.
He confessed, so it's fine.
Oh my God.
Where did Chico's briefcase go, Zach?
That's a great question.
In the trunk of the car.
Whose niece's hospital fund.
I feel like Charlie wanted to talk about Pepe Sylvia. Can we talk about busting Jimmy Fingers? I need to talk about busting Jimmy Fingers.
If we can use some different terminology. I don't want to talk about busting.
No, my note says scene 5, busting Jimmy Fingers. In the motel, Jack Reacher has just left.
Dude.
Jimmy Fingers has now taken over the room with 2 whores.
Is Jimmy Fingers wearing a jockstrap?
No.
No, he's wearing the Jean-Claude Van Damme pouch underwear.
1989 underwear right there. That's what that is.
Yes, it is.
And that's the baggy underwear that they sold back then.
Is he trying to protect his Dick Stockton?
Hey, girls, take a hike. Find another trick.
Take a hike. 20 CB.
That dude's Jersey accent.
The guy he bailed out, may sit this one out. What was the guy's street name?
Monkey.
Monkey?
You're welcome.
I did not type that out at all. I just typed out street name Ope.
I'm Jimmy fucking Fingers. I'm a made man.
I wouldn't sell the sweat off my balls.
So he shoots him. You're dead. Then what was the Jamaican guy doing hiding in the bathroom?
I have no idea.
Was that going to be a tag team? What's happening?
It was 2-on-2. Zach, he's just getting freshed up.
There's only one bed in there, man.
Well,
one bed and a couch. What's going on here?
There you go.
And a chair.
On the floor.
And a cooking chair.
You know what? That's what I think was happening. I think Jimmy Fingers was going to watch this guy have sex with the two hookers.
Oh, he's going to sit on the couch?
Yeah.
In that banana hammock?
In his hammock.
Now, what was his name? Was his name Nestor?
Yeah, it's Nesta.
Nesta.
Excuse me.
Actually, though.
It actually was.
Now, Zach, I have it as this. Follow me, if you will.
Okay.
You're right. Jimmy Fingers does pay hookers to have sex with someone else while he sits from the cuck chair and watches, right? But I've got Nesta, never done this before.
A little nervous.
So what he was doing in the bathroom, hyping himself up.
Yeah.
You can do this. It's no big deal. You've had sex plenty of times. Who cares if some guy wants to watch?
Don't even focus on him.
He's not going to touch you. Ignore him.
Get down to business. You know how to do this.
You're getting paid to have sex with two girls.
He's fixing his dreads, yeah.
Fixing his dreads in the mirror. Comes out. Sees the girls are gone. Sees Jimmy Fingers is dead. Sees Seagal. Of course he's pissed. Because he could have just hid in the bathroom and then came back and said, guys, the Seagal guy or whatever. Instead, he accosts Seagal. Seagal whoops him up. Then tells him, you're going to take me to Screwface. I don't know who Screwface is because, Nesta's not no snitch. Seagal says, tell you what, you're going to ride with me. We're going to go over to Screwface's place. When he sees me riding with you, he's going to think that you're in this with me, and now you're fucked anyway.
Yeah.
Nesta's faced with a dilemma. Either A, I give up Screwface's identity and location to this guy, in which case I open myself up as a snitch. Or B, I don't, but everyone thinks I'm a snitch. And so he takes option C.
Takes flight.
Find him your fucking self and jumps out of the window. 10 stories?
I thought he was going to miss that car.
He aimed for it.
You don't put a car there and not have,
Screwface kill me 1,000 deaths worse than you.
Sean Astin digging a pool. Why don't you just say, okay, and then the moment you guys walk out the thing, hit him in the nuts and run?
That's not what Screwface guys do, though. They know better.
Yep.
They've seen this guy go crazy a bunch of times. Then the most quintessential perfect Seagal formula.
Oh, yeah.
He gets in the car. Well, one thought he was invincible. The other thought he could fly.
So?
They were both wrong.
So you're calling this Seagal formula?
Seagal formula. We have multiple exchanges.
You put a little TGT, a little bit of Cobra in there, you get Seagal formula.
Is that crack?
TGCF.
Let's talk about Charles, a.k.a. Rasta Lionel, a Jamaican detective who followed Screwface to the U.S. from Kingston.
5 years.
This is not how jurisdiction works in any way.
Sure isn't.
Works directly for the FBI task force and says, I'm a Jamaican cop, man, and Screwface is my career. He drops this amazing Cobra formula that never gets paid off.
You know what it means when we say I'm on face the screw? No. Well, I pray you never have to find that out.
I would love to find out. Please tell me.
Maze, I went crazy waiting for at some point in the movie when they kill Screwface.
Yep.
That's why, or whatever.
Finally. But he got stabbed first.
I Googled it, and all it means is guy's angry. His face is screwed because he's angry.
Well, pray you never have to see him angry, I suppose. You won't like him when he's angry.
Now, Roy, did you Google it or did you ask Gemini? Google Gemini because I found that just make shit up.
No, don't use Gemini. Don't use any of that shit.
No, I don't do AI. Sorry.
So Rasta Lionel has been tracking Screwface his entire career, but he's able to walk right into the Reggae Directory Club and no one cares?
No one cares.
Because he's also Jamaican, I guess?
Yep. When you hear your family, man.
The last time we see the FBI is 43 minutes in.
You're right.
When Dunn says he thinks he can do things his own way, but I'll tell you something, he can't. Terrible writing.
Which is not tough guy talk.
That's the last time we see Kevin Dunn. Goodbye.
First, he wanted him to help. Now he's telling him to stay retired. Make up your mind, man. By the way, Kevin Dunn, excellent character actor.
So good.
Mississippi Burning and all that. Yep.
But Rasta Lionel apparently talks the FBI into endorsing an off-the-books murder spree in Jamaica.
What?
They even sent along night vision goggles. Welfare for warfare.
How do you know they went to Jamaica?
Jamaica Airlines.
Oh.
They took Air Jamaica.
Air Jamaica. Got it.
Yo, man.
They landed in Jamaica and immediately reggae music everywhere.
Everywhere.
I mean, you got to ring the bell because they were able to smuggle all of those weapons into that plane.
Oh,
on Air Jamaica? Well, it's pre 9/11. You could do whatever.
Yeah.
It's an unbelievable amount of guns that they bring.
That they've altered.
There's a whole montage where they're putting it together.
Yeah.
But even while he's there, Rasta Lionel, he believes some Jamaicans just make bad choices. It's not their fault, okay?
Sure. It's the streets.
It's the cards that you were dealt. Kind of like America.
That was one of the things, Maze, that kind of threw me off. Pete Davis basically stereotypes them all.
Thought it would be bikinis and sunshine, yeah.
Rasta Lionel said, oh, no, you're right, man. We are.
No, he didn't say you're right, man. He said you're right, man.
Yeah.
Have a red stripe.
They bring Screwface's decapitated head back on Air Jamaica, and it's in incredible condition.
Yo, yeah, they brought the head back. Ring the bell again. They brought the head back on the plane.
It looks incredible. It looks great.
Was that a carry-on, or did they check that?
You got to check that.
But then, when we get the film noir and Screwface 2 appears, he stabs him in the back and calls him Judas, which is incredibly ironic because he's the one getting stabbed in the back.
Right.
He calls him Judas.
If anything, you should call him Jesus.
But he is holding his head.
His brother's head.
So the big film noir is that there are two Screwfaces.
Two faces.
No, that's Batman Forever.
It's Billy D. Williams.
Yeah.
I'm of two minds about this, I.
If he had had a manila folder on his neck, he's still a twin. It doesn't get cut off. So yeah, when he kills Screwface, he chops his head clean off.
Like the hand.
The scene I saw was poorly edited because they chopped his head off, and then a stream splurt of blood went across the room for about a millisecond.
Yeah.
That could have been kept in.
It should have been. It should have turned into Kill Bill. It should have been really graphic.
Yeah.
When he talked to the girl who parties with
Screwface's girlfriend,
despite the fact that he apparently killed her sister.
Yep.
But she's like, hey, the game's a game. Come on.
Screwface have 2 heads and 4 eyes, and that is the secret to his magic.
I just let that go. I'm like, okay, it's some kind of proverb or something. I don't know what's going on here. Hey, Screwface still alive. He stabbed Lionel. He was a twin.
From the very beginning, Screwface's introduction with Tito, which is a great scene, great introduction.
Yeah.
Everybody want go heaven. Nobody want dead.
Screwface has the blue contacts. He looks absolutely insane. He walked right out of a Thriller music video.
Those contacts must suck to wear.
They had to, yeah.
He's an extremely close talker, as we'll get to in the look at this photograph.
We sure will.
That's his intimidation technique. But he turns Tito into his bitch.
You are work for Iman. No, you are do the selling. You are be the mule. I supply the crack and the powder. What's the split? 20% to you.
Why would you be cooking the crack for them? You just sell them the powder,
right?
And then they can do that shit on their own.
And then there's a voice across the room says, I see everything. Tito's alarmed. Back to Screwface. I be everywhere. They smile and laugh.
Oh!
And that's when we had the two Screwfaces right off the rip.
Yeah, that was the first one.
There was a reveal.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention at that point. I thought another dude was in there.
Yeah.
Oh, I completely missed that.
Wow.
Maybe we're supposed to think he's throwing his voice or something like that, but it's tipped right away.
Oh.
That's the first mention, and then the second mention having to be at the club. And that is a long, long time between those two moments.
Guys, I got to go back to something earlier because the whole point of having twin Screwfaces
and twins.
is to propagate this belief among the troops that the guy's magical.
His magic is bigger.
When Screwface comes up and stabs Rastalino in the back, all the guys gasp and say, "It's the magic man! Magic is magical, man!"
Yeah.
They just keep repeating that before they're all like, we should shoot these people, right?
Yeah.
So I want to go back to this idea of magic because early in the movie,
careful.
What's my man's name? Barco?
Tito Barco.
After he does a deal.
What kind of a deal?
With Screwface, which by the way sounds like a pretty good deal.
No.
You guys handle distribution.
Absolutely not.
No.
Not a good deal?
Only got 20%.
He got sunned.
20%?
80-20?
What is he, Stugatz?
Dude, those are Stugatz numbers.
Screwgatz.
Screwgatz. I was a prop comic.
Why would Screwface then order a hit on him? He just signed a great deal.
Screwface tells him the deal. What kind of a deal? You're the mule.
Mm-hmm.
Then Tito goes to the Santeria lady.
She gives us great exposition.
And gratuitous.
And a milk bath?
Baden and skim milk.
That is Omiero.
Tells us the man is using the power of the spirit to do very evil things. He sounds like the professor from How High when he says this there. The man is using the power of the spirit.
I give him an A.
He leaves the money and goes. The money, by the way, is about $60. It's not a lot of money that he pays her to do this.
I think it was more than $60.
He gave her 3 stacks.
Stacks of what?
One of those stacks was real light. $18 max.
There's a $10 bill on top.
Stacks of tens.
But back in 1990, that's like $26.
Okay, there you go. So we get the Gratuita Popo. She's in the bathtub.
She hawked to us some Bacardi on a cock.
Oh,
same note too.
Oh, that made me so angry.
From the first Bacardi bottle ever made. You see that logo? Holy shit.
The original.
Ron Bacardi handed her that bottle. The Ron Bacardi, right?
Yeah.
She does this thing with the cigar, which I gotta say, kind of like.
I knew it.
And then blows the smoke on the look at this photograph of Screwface, which is a great glamour shot. Screwface wakes up in a cold sweat.
Yeah.
Because his magic is being fought by her magic.
He can sense it.
He felt that.
And as a result of that, he orders the hit on Tito. Ladies and gentlemen, there's something they're not telling us in this movie.
Well, there's many things they aren't telling us.
Yeah.
Magic is real.
Yeah.
Magic is real.
Do you believe in magic?
They try to explain it away with he had a twin brother who's CIA, but the reality is no.
Well, he's got his own shit going too. He's got altars and candles and blood sacrifices.
He's magical.
Absolutely.
He was magical until he got his eyes gouged out.
No, it wasn't gouged out. It was pushed in.
Pushed in. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
It wasn't slicked in. It was pushed in.
Pushed in. Yeah.
Professor Leslie tells us that he does Abakua. Kevin Dunn calls it voodoo bullshit. That's what he's about with the symbols and everything.
It's Abakua, yeah.
Jamaican voodoo. They did their research on this. I'm sure they did their research on Santeria.
Every Seagal movie does. Why would you trust him?
But it seems like they melded together brown people and this magic and a gigantic monolith of racism.
It's like a Lord of the Rings movie, right? There's one wizard fighting another wizard. That's what they're doing here. There's 2 different types of magic.
Yeah.
Different houses.
Yeah. And guess what? Abakua won.
Or, here's another explanation. Maybe I'm being gullible, and this is just a Conan the Destroyer situation.
Kiro?
Where both magic people are bullshitting and keeping the bullshit alive.
Winking at each other like, yeah, keep this going. We got this.
Like actual magicians. Yeah.
There's one more thing I want to mention before we move away from scenes. This could be a Horseman as well. It is Seagal diving into something and all in one motion grabbing a weapon and popping to his feet.
Oh, the sword?
Because he does this in the final fight against Screwface 2, where he dives over the bar into a roll, and as he's rolling up into a stance, grabs the sword, and now he's on his feet, ready to fight.
Yep.
He does this like 6 times in the movie, and it's fucking great every time. This is Thin Seagal.
Yes.
This is what he could do back then. Yes.
Same note too.
Thin Seagal could also squeeze through the windshield of the flattened car.
A broken Mustang.
It was so lazy.
Trapped by a loader and a garbage truck. That was my Sean Astin.
The worst Molotov cocktail ever.
Goddess of Fire.
That is a watered down Molotov cocktail.
I just want to point out something here. I wanted to get back to the house situation. So this house was shot up. And then they went back. They put the black cross on the door and the cow's tongue. And inside on the carpet, they put the symbol. Why exactly is Seagal's sister going back to the house to get rest? What are we doing here?
She's an idiot. That's why.
Roy, I'll do you one better. She goes back to the house. The Jamaicans cut the phone line while she's on the phone with Seagal. They attack her up in the room. She overacts.
No.
She runs downstairs, doesn't know how to work a door. They catch her down there, throw her onto the living room floor. She looks up. They spent so much time redecorating and remodeling this living room. Candles everywhere, a symbol on the coffee table. She looked pretty impressed by the craftsmanship. Even her in that momentary, she's like, oh, wow, they really spruced this place up.
Steven Seagal was at the anthropologist's place, right? And by the way, she was horny.
The lady professor who exists only for exposition, and I thought for sure they were going to bang, but they didn't.
She never comes back.
She only had 2 scenes. That was it. Maybe even 3.
Hard for her to find a good man in this town, but when she finally gets one, he's gone.
Who's not gay, who's not trying to kill himself.
Not married. Those are her criteria for a good man.
Put that on your dating profile.
There's absolutely no way he should have been able to make it from her office to the house, even if he is driving a Mustang.
Don't worry about that. He's Steven Seagal.
And of course, the Jamaicans like, I want you Stop all the blood clot crying. Everybody must dead. And by the way, I thought he said everybody must fled for a second.
Gotta fled.
And when he did get there, and when they disappeared, he didn't bother to, clear the house or anything. He didn't bother to look around in the room to see if they were still there. He went straight to his sister. But hey, that's just me. If I was a cop, which would never ever happen, I probably would search the room, see if anybody was still there, look in the closet, look in the attic, make sure that nobody is possibly going to ambush me. That's me. Proper police procedure in this situation.
2 more quick things. One is a thematic thing and one is a specific scene. The specific scene is the newscast position from fake Connie Chung.
I knew it.
We have to get that in.
Yeah, let's get this.
This lady drops more concentrated exposition late in the movie than we've ever had before. She covers it all.
Like Los Angeles, New York, and Washington, small-town America now has blood in its streets as a gang shootout in Lincoln Heights tonight has left 4 dead. Although less than 1% of Jamaican immigrants are involved, Jamaican gangs known as posses are now dominating the American drug trade, with more than 10,000 members trafficking drugs in 20 states. According to Justice Department officials, they are as disciplined as they are violent. Torture and maiming are posse trademarks, and posse gunmen are said to prefer shooting their victims in public. Sources estimate they have committed 1,400 murders in 3.5 years. Dale Harimoto, WXTV, Chicago.
My note, verbatim. Amin probably would call this lady a fake Connie Chung.
Wow.
Right there.
Racism.
Up.
Yeah.
And the bell has been tapped. And the last thing I'll say about her is that for some reason, a woman's name is Dale.
Dale. Yeah.
Dale.
Dale Harimoto.
I can't even think of another woman named Dale. All I know is Earnhardt and Chip's brother. That's it.
Chip's brother.
Well, are they brothers? They're not cousins.
I have a brother.
Chip and Dale?
I think Chip and Dale are just friends.
Oh, they're brothers, man.
I'm on it.
Because if you've seen the older cartoons, not Rescue Rangers, the actual cartoons, they're brothers. Legitimately.
Makes that whole Eiffel Tower situation so much more.
Everybody's going after Gadget.
Hold on a second.
Don't do this.
We all know Chip and Dale are 2 chipmunk brothers who share a life together, even their love interests.
Gadget.
It's a Screwface situation.
I bet it is.
Eiffel Tower.
No, they were going after that mouse Gadget in Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
But they shouldn't be sharing.
Eiffel Tower. The other thing was a theme that I realized. Keith David is a sociopath.
Really?
Of course.
Because he wants to get in and do things, huh?
Well, it's not even that. 1, failed marriage. That could be anybody, but whatever. 2, he sees Seagal. They banter. They joke around. He's kind of irritated at the drug dealers over here, but like, whatever. They go out. They hit the bars, bantering with the waitress, who, by the way, had 0 cheeks. I didn't mention that earlier. They're having a grand old time, right? At some point, he says, last month, my 13-year-old nephew died in a crack house with these guys.
Yeah, and that's what Steven Seagal said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But also, I'm sorry. Aren't you still in mourning or like traumatized? You out here messing around, having drinks?
No, he started drinking and it all came back to him.
Yeah, it's been a month.
It's a depressant.
It's been more than a month when he goes to Jamaica. Remember the football team?
Oh,
He abandoned them.
Season over, buddy.
At the first sign of action, he's like, fuck you kids.
He's calling them maggots.
He's got assistant coaches.
They didn't make the playoffs.
They're in an incredible number of loose ends in this movie.
The entire thing is loose ends.
The mom, the niece in the hospital.
Does she live?
Yeah, that's what I asked.
The football team, the FBI agent, Chico. It doesn't stop.
Is he going to fuck the professor?
Did he have the other two kids? Were those his kids?
That's her kids.
His nephew that he slapped, never seen again.
Where were they during the shootout?
I don't think that was their kid.
Where were they after the shootout?
Where was the mom?
Where's your dad? Where is the dad, by the way?
You know, that's a whole other movie.
Single mother, man.
Maybe it's Chico.
Seatbelts fastened. Tray tables in an upright position. Here we go.
Plot liftoff. Amin, what was your plot liftoff?
We didn't talk about the scene, but Jeffrey Anderson Gunter walks in, whispers to Screwball, or Screwface, excuse me.
Screwball's a peanut butter whiskey.
Peanut butter whiskey, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I'm dry right now. You're just making me want.
They got some downstairs in the freezer.
Oh, man.
Whispers to Screwface, Nesta dead. Screwface, says, okay. And I think, oh, he's taking this really well. Then flips the table, grabs the table leg, breaks it off, and slaps the shit out of Jeffrey Anderson good turn.
Hits the shit out of a dude. Yeah.
I want Hatcher dead. I want his family dead. And if you can't kill him, I go kill him. And then I go kill you.
That's my plot liftoff.
Wow. That's strong.
That line while they were playing dominoes, they had, that's the date. Who did it? That right boy Hatcher? That line. White boy Hatcher.
Put it in the intro, man. Maze, what's your plot liftoff?
My plot liftoff is damn analogy right into Jamaican Drive-By.
Okay.
He's in the game now.
Well, he's not marked for death yet.
Roy, what's your plot liftoff?
My plot liftoff was the bar shootout because first blood in that situation, we messed around with that man's wrist. That's what led to the drive-by at the house.
Mine is plot liftoff 38 minutes into a 93-minute movie. They're in the hospital. He does the whole money isn't a consideration, like the president of the United States, okay?
Yeah.
And then Melissa, unhinged, starts pounding on his chest, blaming him and crying.
Oh.
He checks on the girl. He and Keith David walk out together. Don't say a fucking word. Plot fucking liftoff. The walkout.
Mm-hmm.
He looks at Keith David, and Keith David looks at him, and he knows.
He knows. It's fucking go time.
He knows that Hasselhoff has just told everybody to put their tray tables up and upright and lock.
And once we're airborne, Johnny Fingers.
And once we're airborne on Air Jamaica.
I like that cut right to the door getting kicked open.
It is great.
Right to the banana hammock. Yep.
Who cares if you lose the game? You got this off your chest. I mean, it's just one night of bar trivia.
One night of bar trivia is sacrosanct to us.
Trivia is sacrosanct. This was named one of the most violent movies of 1990 by the National Coalition on TV Violence.
Which does not sound real, by the way.
No, they made it up.
Yeah, I tried to look it up and I couldn't find another list that they had done.
It's just white people making up a coalition to make sure that we don't have fun.
Apparently on the production set, Steven Seagal claimed that due to his Aikido training, he was, quote, immune to being choked unconscious. Gene LaBelle, who was a stunt coordinator, heard about the claim and gave Seagal the opportunity to prove it. LaBelle said to have placed his arms around Seagal's neck, and once Seagal said go, proceeded to choke him unconscious.
And also that Seagal lost control of his bowels. So, Amin, we actually talked about this on the Golden Child episode of all episodes.
Oh.
But I found an interview with Ariel Helwani in 2012 talking to Gene LaBelle, where he dances around answering the question.
Did you, in fact, choke out Sensei Seagal on the set of a movie, and is it true that he did, in the process, soil himself?
Well, if a guy soils himself, you can't criticize him, because if they just had a nice big dinner an hour before, you might have a tendency to do that. Steven Seagal is a very outstanding martial artist. Personally, myself, I don't think he's taught these MMA fighters how to win a match. I've got nothing against Steven. He's a very outstanding martial artist. He's done a lot for the martial arts, but I know where he's insulted Randy Couture. Well, Randy Couture, if he ever got mad, would have him for lunch. And that isn't to put down Steven, but you know, closed mouth don't catch any foot. In other words, you can't put your foot in your mouth if you keep it closed.
So did that happen?
I always say, if a man, you know, you can't be braggadocious that they've done something.
Right.
Everybody has their individual things that have happened. And I personally don't think you should put down, as many people do with Steven, because he's trying to do his best.
So does that mean, Gene, that you will not confirm that this actually took place?
Well, if 30 people are watching, let them talk about it. You know, you interview a boxer or a wrestler, it's I, me.
Yeah.
And what do I know? Gene LaBelle knows Gene LaBelle. And if I tell you the stories, everybody that tells a story is a hero of their own story.
And then on the other hand, when Seagal was asked about the incident, he directly denied the allegations, calling LaBelle a, quote, pathological scumbag liar, offered the name of a witness who could prove LaBelle had fabricated this rumor. And then a YouTuber named Viking Samurai interviewed stuntman Stephen Lambert, who worked on the film and witnessed the event. Lambert confirmed the story, but stated that Seagal did not defecate or urinate in his pants.
That man is a pathological liar. I didn't get choked out. I didn't shit my pants. I didn't poop. I didn't have the poopy pants.
You tell Gene LaBelle I didn't poop? Who did you talk to? Who pooped his pants? White man Hatcher.
The original script for this movie was written by Michael Grace and Mark Victor, and it was called Screwface. Had a lot of the same story, most of the characters, but still was almost completely different from the final film because of massive changes Steven Seagal made on the script. Then you try to claim he came up with the story, wrote the entire script, but after his labor dispute and trial with the Writers Guild of America, they gave the writing credits to Grace and Victor. Some of the biggest differences between the original script and the movie are: one, in the original, Hatcher was named John Stefano, and he and his family were Italians. Instead of being a DEA agent, he was more of a freelance troubleshooter working for various people on both sides of the law. He also had a wife and a child who were killed while he was on one of his jobs. Screwface and his gang were also far more dangerous and vicious. Originally in the script, during the part where John and his friends attack Screwface's mansion in Jamaica, they get captured and are tortured for hours until they manage to break free and take out the first Screwface twin and his men. The ending fight between John and the second Screwface twin was far more brutal, and it took place in the warehouse belonging to the Jamaican gang, who were watching the entire fight until right at the moment where Screwface was ready to kill him. John finally kills Screwface by shooting him in the head and in the body.
Screwface was named after a Bob Marley song. Steven Seagal wrote and performed the song John Crow together with Jimmy Cliff. Steven Seagal felt that this film had some of the best fight scenes he's ever done. Meanwhile, director Dwight Little said, quote, Steven is the only guy who does what he does in the movies where you let your opponent's energy go past you. In that respect, he's totally unique, but it's not a forward, high-kicking, punching thing. That's why I felt I needed action movie stuff like car chases, gunfights, explosions, and some old-fashioned cop stuff. Because if we tried to string together a bunch of Steven's fights, they will quickly start to feel the same. Then you got a body of work that would agree with that.
Yep.
The photos of Steven Seagal as a kid were real.
No shit.
No shit.
The theatrical trailer shows some deleted scenes and alternate shots of some action scenes, including shots of John hitting one of the Jamaicans during the mall fight scene and hitting again with neck chop. Shot of John sneaking around Screwface's mansion, an alternate shot of John hitting one of the Jamaicans during the hand-to-hand fight in the mansion, and a deleted conversation scene between John and Tito Barco, in which Barco asks John, "Are you some kind of cop?" And John says, "Nah, I'm just a concerned citizen."
The film got $1 million added to the budget following the success of Hard to Kill. They're so impressed.
Seagal was very particular about his wardrobe.
Everything except for the jacket was pretty good.
As part of his contract, Steven Seagal insisted on wearing his embroidered dragon shirt, which he got whilst he was on holiday in the Costa del Sol.
Oh, Lord.
The director tried to explain that it didn't fit with Steven's character or the plot, but Steven was insistent that he'd had such a lovely holiday, and the souvenir was really important to him, and if he couldn't wear it, he'd do the film, but act confused instead of angry.
That's amazing.
The tiny antique gun used in the film is called a Chicago Palm Pistol. It's nicknamed the Protector, and this is the ultimate film noir that this Chekhov tiny gun never came back. He never used it.
Makes no sense.
Kill count, 30, 14 of which were Seagal's.
It's a lot of Jamaicans, man.
Co-writers Michael Grace and Mark Victor visited Jamaica before they wrote the scenes pertaining to the country and met with one of the biggest drug dealers in Jamaica. They included voodoo after talking with the LAPD, and they learned more about the Jamaican gangs while doing ride-alongs with the police. Thanks, LAPD.
Thanks, Kevin Hart.
This is a bit of a leap, but Steven Seagal apparently wanted to be in Predator 2. which came out the same year.
Whoa!
To do what?
I guess to be Danny Glover.
What?
Yes.
To fight the Predator using Aikido.
There was an interview with director of Predator 2, Stephen Hopkins, where he described going to Steven Seagal's house. If you remember the Glimmerman episode, Stephen Tobolowsky also described going to Steven Seagal's house. It's always a weird time.
He was desperate to do it. I went up to his house, he crushed my hand, and he took me into a room where all the walls were covered with guns. And he told me about how, he wanted to play a CIA psychiatrist who was also a martial arts expert and carried a gun. And I listened to him for a long time, and he was clearly a little crazy at the time. And I said, "Oh, this was different the way we were going, so I guess we shouldn't do it," And he then he became really keen to do it, and he threw his arm around me on the way out, and he said, "I want you to come to my ranch in Santa Barbara because I've got a grenade launching range there, so we could go and launch grenades together." And I said, "Yeah, great, we'll do that." But that didn't happen. Maybe I'm not a fan of his. So.
And then apparently after the release of both films, Steven Seagal made several crank calls to Stephen Hopkins, bragging that Marked for Death made more money than Predator 2. Also, Rasta Lionel holds up Screwface's head, just like King Willie's head in Predator 2. And the RDC club walls during the final fight sequence, to me, kind of look like Predator 2's spaceship.
Can you imagine if Steven Seagal played Gary Busey's character in this situation? And that reaction when that laser sight was going towards Gary Busey, like, ah! Can you imagine Steven Seagal doing that with that face? Because he only has two faces.
Screwface, Two-Face. Actor Tom Wright, a.k.a. Rasta Lionel, overheard that Steven Seagal was vetoing every American actor up for that part of Charles. So when he did his audition, he affected a convincing, in quotes, Jamaican accent the entire time in order to make Seagal believe that he was from Jamaica. He kept up the facade until the very last day of filming when he confessed to Seagal that he was from New Jersey and spoke with an American accent. Seagal reportedly said nothing, turned, and walked away from him, never speaking to Wright again.
Whoa!
And ladies and gentlemen, that is your Louis Pinnock Award.
I'd like you all to do an experiment on a plant, something that may benefit mankind. And if you devise something that's groundbreaking, I guarantee you a A in this course.
Whoa, hold on, man. You following me? You can't do that, Lionel. Look, man, if you don't want me to have a foreman job, I understand, but I need my fucking job, man.
Holy shit. Even though he was losing it a couple times.
Lock it in.
Is a little slippery there. That's a lock for Rasta Lionel.
Yes.
I was going to pick him anyway for Louis Pinnock, but that absolutely cinches it.
It's about as convincing as Wesley Snipes' Jamaican accent, I guess, right?
That was a Hawaiian accent.
Let's show them who the horsemen are, guys.
Yeah, we got soul.
Five Horsemen.
Oof, this is loaded.
This fell off. Steven Seagal slapping and touching other men.
Yeah.
I, Small Town America, Gratuitous, Breaking Bones, and Patois, or specifically blood clot. Do you know what blood clot means? Menstrual pad is the terminology.
Yeah.
Is that what that means?
Yes.
Huh.
You're soaking up the blood.
Misogyny.
It's a cloth, blood cloth.
I'm going to kill your little blood clot.
What about bumper clot?
It basically means douchebag or motherfucker.
They just say it once. What? They say blood clot all the time.
No, man. They say bumper clot several times. It wasn't just once, especially in the mall scene.
See, I thought it was blood clot the whole time.
I think it was the caption said it was blood clot.
Oh.
And that might have been a little bit of laziness. I think it could have been either.
Maybe that's tricking me.
No, that man got up over here and he tried to find her like, the bumper clot, the blood clot, the bumper clot, man. And he flew, bumper clot. Ah!
I think it's either breaking bones or blood clot.
I think it's breaking bones because there's so many awkward fight scenes where he's like, all right, now you get in position here and now I've got you. There's nothing smooth about the fight scene. So
Zach, they were running into each other.
Because he was making up Aikido on the spot. This movie is the birthplace of Aikido.
It's Aikido.
Sometimes the bones weren't broken. Sometimes he's tucking his arm into his shirt and got a dangly limb flopping around.
Shout out to Jeffrey Anderson Gunter.
He finishes the movie off with a broken neck, a broken back.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's breaking bones.
I think it's breaking bones. Yeah, I'm with you.
Sorry, blood clot.
TGT was the only other thing I was going to say, but.
Oh, yeah, TGT. Banter. There's a lot of banter.
Banter's position.
Well, he got impaled. He got his neck broken. He got his back broken, and he got his eyes pushed in.
And his brother got his head cut off.
Hope they weren't triplets.
And his head split right down the middle. Don't forget that.
By the way, that looked like a cross.
Oh.
That legitimately looked like a cross. The head splitting and the eyes pushed in.
Marked for death.
Looked like a black cross, like on the door.
Catholic month.
Catholic month is back.
Breathe in through nose, out the mouth.
Ass on, ass off.
Teddy Rex. Moosey Teddy Rex. Teddy Rex. Moosey Teddy Rex.
Ass on. Fuck it, ass off. Ass on. Fuck it, ass off.
Michael Biehn Memorial Ass On Award. Despite Amin's attempt to create the overacting category, Elizabeth Grayson as Melissa Hatcher was ass on.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man. It's Steven Seagal's John Hatcher.
You already know, man, before the movie started.
Ass on.
Ass on.
I don't think I can support that. I think it's Melissa.
Wow.
It's the sister?
The sister.
Oh, wow.
I didn't think she was that bad.
What?
I mean, thought she was dialing it up too much, but that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, she just dialed it up.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
I don't know, man.
How's my little sister?
She's horrible.
She did every single scene at a 17 out of 10.
When she said no while she was on the table.
Johnny!
No.
Johnny! They hurt my baby!
So, Amin, who's your ass on then?
I mean, I think it's funnier if it's her than Seagal.
Oh, wow.
I think Seagal was more ass on, but I think it's funnier. At the end of the year, when we do our best ass ons, we get the message.
Little trickery.
You know what? I changed my mind. Melissa, there you go.
Thank you, Roy.
You're welcome.
Carl Weathers Memorial Ass Off Award. Two options here. Keith David as Max Keller or Basil Wallace as Screwface.
I think it's Keith David all the way.
All the way?
I think Keith David ran with that thing, man. The scene where he sees Seagal, recognizes him, the tilt, the slow walk, everything. Keith David put on a clinic in this movie.
I was going to automatically go with Keith David, but you know what? It's all the Jamaicans.
Whoa.
All the Jamaicans. You know why? Because that material was written by white people, and they took what was written for them and they knocked it out of the park. All the Jamaicans.
Well, hold on, man. I don't know if you know the backstory of Steven Seagal.
Said it was all white people, Roy. We covered this in trivia. 93% of this movie was rewritten by Seagal.
Yeah.
93%, yo.
93% yo, and he grew up black, right?
You got me there.
I don't know what color I am, but I know one thing. I was the only one that wasn't black that I knew that played exactly like them.
Because the essence of blues is story. Any great director, the first thing they have to learn is how to tell a story. And that's the first thing a blues man have to do is tell a story.
Can I offer Mr. Morgan, a.k.a. Rasta Lionel?
He's great. He's great.
He would fall into all the Jamaicans.
Can I also offer...
The tiger on the jacket?
Tiger on the jacket, yes. Also, we called him Young Fred Katz earlier, but you know what? He's not Young Fred Katz. He's the guy from Mad Real World, the white guy that moves in with them. That's what he looks like.
Oh, he looks nothing like that guy.
He looks more like that than Fred Katz.
No, he doesn't.
What is it? Is that crack?
He takes a hit of weed, doesn't inhale, goes, cool.
First time, stupid bingo kid, of course. And then finally, the girl who says, okay, I'll try crack, and goes, ugh.
She's ass off.
That's ass off.
If she had one more scene, she'd be it.
All right, well, I would have said Basil Wallace is Screwface, but I'm good with Keith David.
Basil Wallace is fantastic, but it's Keith David.
You're good at keeping secrets?
Absolutely.
Because I've got a present for you. Secret present outside by the dumpster.
Is it a baseball mitt?
It fits you like a baseball mitt, like a glove. I hope.
Golden Dumpster nominees, Screwface, Blue Contacts, the Cobra formula of you know what it means when we say a Mon face is screwed? No. Well, I pray you never have to find that out. The Seagal dam analogy, Screwface stabbing Rasta Lionel through the chest while Rasta Lionel is holding Screwface's decapitated head, and the eye gouge, dick grab, backbreaker, dummy toss finisher.
I also have the hand sliced off while holding the gun. Mr. Morgan saying, come on, who you think me work for? DEA?
Careful.
I'm a Jamaican cop, man. Nesta killing himself by just launching himself out the window. And unfortunately for Nesta, there wasn't a building across the way that he could have launched himself through like Seagal did. Screwface slapping dude in the face with the table leg. The kid smoking weed for the first time. and the girl smoking crack for the first time.
Zach, what's your pick?
My golden dumpster is going to be the girl perfectly getting up and running away after taking her first hit of crack. It's just insane.
Mine is actually two. The first one would be all the fight scenes with the Jamaicans because it was very clear that the stuntmen were wearing dread wigs.
Yep.
That hair.
Some really bad ones.
Some real bad ones, yeah.
Even the wig that Seagal had in the final fight on the Seagal stuntman was terrible.
And I think there may have been some blackface involved in that.
Oh.
It looked like some white guys put some makeup on. But of course, Nest the Dead. Who did it? White Boy Hatcher? That's my golden dumpster.
Mean?
Well, Zach covered the drug-using teenagers, I guess. So I'm going to go with finding out via Zach, thank you very much, that dude had his arm inside his shirt.
That was Jeffrey Anderson Gunther. We never see him again.
I'm going to go with Screwface stabbing Rasta Lionel through the chest while Rasta Lionel is holding Screwface's decapitated head.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Amin, you picked it, motherfucker.
Motherfucker. I like that.
Overfile.
Man, I love this movie. It brings out all the memories, but watching it, I realized that it has absolutely no story. In the words of Godfrey that we started this episode with, Seagal needs to kill 9 million Rastafarians. That's all this movie is about. There's so many loose ends. The set dressing is sloppy. The wardrobe is sloppy. Everything about it is sloppy. But I enjoyed it. I had fun. I want to watch it again. It's a file.
Roy?
Listen, it's a terrible movie. Any person that will watch this movie who's not well versed on Steven Seagal or any of the movies that they've done in the late 80s and early 90s would say to you that this is a terrible movie. Foul. It is a movie that I will absolutely watch again and again and again and again. Like Mike Brown, and again and again and again.
Is that Overfile?
Look, I love Seagal. I want to do a whole year of it. It's not hard to figure out. I love Keith David. It's a strong file. It's an easy file for me. One of the easiest files we've ever had.
Sweep it, Maze.
Sweep it. It's a file.
Yeah!
Seagal, younger, still bad, but better than before for me. Glimmerman. We're working backwards from Half Past Dead to Glimmerman to this. He's better. He's still waving his arms around.
He's tapper.
He's still talking like Marlon Brando. He's still doing the step and throw move over and over and over again. Step to the side, toss the guy. Step to the side, toss the guy.
That's the principle of Aikido.
You're going to punch me, I'm going to reverse it. That's my whole shit. But the Jamaican shit was crazy, which had a lot of crossover with Predator 2, Roy.
Yes.
Same year.
Mm-hmm.
Same distributor.
Predator 2 and Bad Boys 2 both have strong Marked for Death vibes.
Blondie Dread was very reminiscent of Screwface from Bad Boys 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was more entertaining for sure, even with all the weird dropped plots and complete nonsense with Chico at the beginning. Sweep it. That's a file.
Send us your phobe or file, golden dumpster, ass on, ass off, horseman, plot liftoff, Louis Pinnock. But maybe a scene that you loved. Put that for the new format. At Talk Hoops, at Darth Mean, at Corn Puzzle, at Cinephobe Pod, at Count the Dings, and throw it at Roy Bellamy as well.
Next time we make love, you introduce me to Jade.
You know, Zach, it's funny. I expected you to call out Christopher Nolan for ripping off the whole this magician actually just has a twin brother thing, because he did that in The Prestige.
If I spent all of my time calling out Christopher Nolan for being a hack who rips shit off, we'd never get anything done. Infinite amounts of material there.
You sound like Martin from Role Models. If I had a nickel for every time.
That's the second time you referenced that on this podcast.
I know.
Episode.
Wearing 2 different shirts, no less.
I had to do a quick change.
So I want to be clear here. I mean, you think that Marked for Death invented twins?
No, it invented The Prestige.
Yeah, The Prestige. The idea that this supernatural character who escaped death, how could it be possible?
100%.
It's possible because he just has an identical twin who also wears the same terrible contacts.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what Christopher Nolan sold from Marked for Death.
Among many things.
That's true. There's maiming, there's chopping off stuff. Mm-hmm. The more you think about it, The Prestige is just Marked for Death without Seagal.
Right. Not as good.
Yeah.
Mark for Death's better.
What do we call this? Is this a cold close?
Yeah.
It's so cold in here. It's freezing.
I'm wearing a hoodie.
Oh, man. All right. New year. New me, new bullshit.
Oh, yeah, what's next?
New daisy chain. And I have 2 in a row.
Somehow you have back-to-back picks.
Because of the pick swap that continues to pay dividends on this podcast.
You said you had traded future picks for current stuff, and I realized I'm Billy King.
You're Billy King. You're the Brooklyn Nets. Yeah.
Mario Lopez, Feliz Navidad was my
yeah.
was my Paul Pierce, KG, Jason Terry transaction.
Your 2 picks, I could say, are not going to the Hall of Fame.
What?
Jesus Christ.
I moved up for Batman Forever, Hall of Famer. Batman at Court, timeless.
Mario Lopez is in the Hall of Fame? Dude's still working. Nipples.
And now, it's funny you guys want to talk about the Prestige and twins, because I'm going to use Killer Twins to take us to
The Prestige?
Boondock Saints.
Oh,
I've never seen that movie.
Okay.
I was going to use Chicago, but unfortunately both Office Christmas Party and Rookie of the Year are up to 41% now.
No!
Thanks to our girl Solzy.
Solzy?
She fucked that up for us.
Solzy at the movies.
Nobody calls you that. Danielle?
What were those 2 hands you just had going on there?
Solzy.
No, that's the different Solzy.
Solzy.
So yeah, long discussed, nearly did it 2 years ago. Boondock Saints. It's everywhere. It's on Tubi. It's on Peacock. It's on Prime. It's on Pluto. It's on Roku Channel. It's on Plex.
Where will you watch it? I'm probably going Peacock.
You like Peacock? I don't like Peacock functionality.
I'm enjoying the Tubi experience a little more. I think they fixed their display a little.
I'm telling you.
Maybe I'll go Tubi. I don't like Prime.
I like Prime, but Tubi has an infrastructure that I can get behind.
It's good.
Boondock Saints. I know there are a lot of people who are going to be happy about that one. They're like, oh, when are you guys going to do Boondock Saints?
Heavily requested.
People have been waiting for years.
And then I pick after that, right?
Nope. Then it's me again.
2 more picks you pick.
And I have not had the foresight to set myself up. So we'll play jazz.
That's the point of back-to-back picks.
I really thought about it. I really wanted to. I was trying to get there.
I don't pick for fucking ever, and this is bullshit.
That's true. It is somehow 5 picks between Zach picks.
Oh my God.
But you did have 3 out of 4 before that.
Sort of.
You did.
Sort of. I mean, 2 of them were Christmas movies.
Do you want to propose a trade?
Yeah, I want an entire month, and you can have whatever the fuck you want.
You want an entire year? You asked for a year the other day.
Look, I think I should make every pick.